What's up, everybody? This episode of the podcast is brought to you by We Print Wraps. We Print Wraps is the wrap industry's #1 source for wholesale printed wraps. They offer free nationwide shipping all across the U.S. and Canada. Go to WePrintWraps.com today. Okay, folks, welcome to the All Wrapped Up podcast. If you're new to this show, I've been a weekly listener. Thank you for tuning in and supporting the show. As you know, I don't ask for much, but I appreciate it if you left your feedback and a 5-star rating on any platform that you're listening to. It really helps us out in getting the word out about the industry. And don't forget, if you find value in the content, subscribe and tell a friend. And now here's a brand new episode of All Wrapped Up with TJ Kessel from Global Graphic Installations. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to All Wrapped Up podcast. We'll be interviewing industry-leading wrap companies to share tips, tricks, stories, and more. What's up, brother?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, bro.
Getting a little chilly out there, as we said, eh?
Fucking, I hate starting the podcast with the weather, man. It just getting home from the cold and nice brisk.
Yeah, too soon.
Too soon. Way too soon. Brisk 28 degrees outside here. Love it. Wouldn't change it for the world, said nobody.
Damn. Yeah, definitely sore subject. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. We'll get over the fucking weather. Oh shit. So what's going on, bro? What do you got cooking over there in Florida?
Well, just getting home actually from a job. By home I mean shop.
Nice.
We were out in Miami today, Coral Gables. There was a new build for a place called Wild Forks, and they had some branding inside. Did a few hundred square feet. Yeah, just some murals, pictures, and mottos for the store. Nice.
What type of media are you using for that?
3M IJ140.
IJ140. Great.
Yeah, the drywall had a good finish. No pulling of the paint.
Yep.
When I first got there, it was really actually last minute. I got a call for help this morning, maybe 8:30 or 9. Got out there by 11. It just kind of worked out that way for once.
Wow. Those come far few in between.
No, usually I'm feeling bad because, of course we're booked up. You're trying to get your schedule ahead of time and, you can't jump at an hour every time, but every now and then you get lucky.
Yeah. A little extra cash never hurt nobody.
No, of course not. Save the day,
That's
it was pretty good. Just fit. Kind of one of those make it works like they all are.
Yep. Now, was that a job you had any say in, or it was legit last minute? Hey, got some more stuff, and you just walked into whatever was going on?
Yeah. I mean, you always try and just, when I'm heading out there, whoever I'm representing that day, that's who I'm there with. Don't really need to ask a lot of questions. There's a fellow from their company on site.
Yeah.
Just kind of chatted out what they expected. He was trying to do something. We kind of went a different direction with it. And I just, took it and went from one end to the other and got it done in time.
That's all that matters.
Traffic. I'm just getting back now at 7. So.
Damn, from 11 to 7 now. You've been at that job?
Well, with traffic. That's the thing. Miami is close to Broward, but it's not so close.
Yeah.
With our highway and things.
Damn, dude. How often are you traveling outside of your, more or less general area that you usually work at? What do you try to keep it within, like 20 miles, 10 miles?
Well, I look at it more as like a tri-county, just because of where we sit. A lot of the fellows, known from here, and just everybody knows South Florida from Miami, which is the southern tip, but above them is Broward, where I live, and above us is West Palm Beach.
Wow.
So sandwiched in between them, you kind of, work is work.
Yeah. Go where,
I'll take it wherever I could get it. A lot of my work is on the road, more so than a traditional shop, I guess, like custom shops. They spend a lot of the time in house.
Right.
It sounds nice, but the world needs us.
Yep, for sure, dude. Yeah, definitely.
Gotta get out there and mix it up.
If it wasn't for you guys, fuck, who knows? There's a lot of mobile installers I've noticed throughout, my conversations throughout people within the United States. Some of them have shops, some of them don't have shops, but I think it's such a cool side of the industry that, you don't have to have a shop, but you can have such a great shop without having a shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you get creative, there's some guys with mobile setups, and when I first started, that's how I was. I, started Global in 2012 and ran it out of my truck essentially for a lot of years, before I kind of settled into a place. And there's an argument from a business sense of your overhead.
Right.
And whether it's justified and, how to really quantify whether it makes sense or not. It's certainly a more professional look. But a lot of us are concerned with appearance, and that's really not the name of the game either.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about efficiency.
Right. Quality of work. All that plays into consideration, Yeah.
Floating your overhead is, it's just another thing. It factors into your pricing. You got to be competitive.
Right. That's a tough.
It just depends on what you do.
Yeah, man. It's always a tough thing when you're going through those moments of, okay, do I charge, a travel fee? Do I not travel to put a travel fee in there? It's a mixed bag. I hear people that don't put a travel fee in, and I've got other people that say, yeah, after so many miles, out of their area, if they've got to travel out, it's like, I don't know, whatever the national, per mile amount is, whether that be 65 cents a mile or whatever it may be, for 2018. And
let's pump the number up a little bit for our brothers, right? Yeah. I was hearing somebody say $1.50 a mile the other day.
Bro, I had a dude that charged me $100 every time he came out. I'm like, bro, there's no way you're charging $100. I'm paying for gas for the whole week for you to come here one day. Like, really?
Yeah, you must be making quite the drive.
Yeah, I can see if you're going to be out here for, the whole week helping me out. But if it's for one job and you're out of here in 5 hours, $100, $50 there, $50 back. No way.
You got to get some friends a little closer to you, man.
Yeah. Well, dude, up here in Boston, bro, there aren't that many mobile installers. There's maybe, honestly, as far as like maybe a 50-mile radius, I want to say there's like 3 that I know of. And there's no other shops in the area that would go out and actually do mobile stuff unless it was their own work.
That's wild, man.
Right? And dude, in Miami, bro, they're like everywhere. Like you guys are like everywhere. Like there's always installers, man. There's always installers.
That is, there's definitely some truth to that. I know we're not the only place. A lot of us kind of complain about competition all around us, but I think about the rest of the country a lot too. We're not alone.
Yeah.
In that. And it's not just our business either. If you listen sometimes to the older heads, no matter what business they're in, it's similar struggles.
Right.
Folks, they're cheaper, they're quicker, they're doing it without this. It's whatever they got over you, and usually it comes back to the price.
Unfortunately.
Holding ground isn't easy.
No, definitely not, man. Definitely not. And justifying it and articulating it in the perfect scenario to your client, it's sometimes a struggle. It's basically do or die sometimes. You don't know if you're potentially going to get the job or not. You try to be as professional as possible, try to be as informative and, education to the client of what they should be looking for when getting a quote. And, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot by telling them too much, but at the same time, you want to be able to build that trust factor. And, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, but, that's fucking name of the game, unfortunately,
Yeah, no, it's a big part, and it's something I give a lot of thought of that, just because it's a struggle for all of us to do it, and I definitely work with a lot of folks in the same industry, so it comes up in conversation.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things is just you stay at a standard kind of price across the board for your region.
Yep.
Immediate haggling. So, in order to eat, a lot of people come down and then it just starts lowering that bar. But I've tried to take the mindset that if that's the way it's going to be, instead of just complaining about it, like we need a bit of answers.
Yeah.
As an industry, perhaps. And one way I've tried to view this recently is just that as that price begins to come down for need of the job because you're losing your ass on this one because you believe in it and more work is going to come out of it because of whatever hundreds of reasons, that you're buying something with that price. If you're at an imaginary number of $3 per foot, right, and it needs to be $2.50, well, what are you buying with that 50 cents?
Right.
In the mindset of an installer, potentially that means having it cleaned ahead of time, debadged, or some version of something. You have shop hands that are not comfortable doing the whole car, but maybe they'll wrap the roof because that equals 50 or 75 off. Like, right, it's time for us to get creative with it instead of just saying, whatever. You argue about the price and you're lower, and that's what it is. You're doing the same thing. You're grumpy. You get on the rap police. Whatever happens to folks is they just spiral out.
Right.
It's not a good look. We need to fight back a little bit.
I agree, dude. I agree. And it's, and I want to say it's not always, the lowballers aren't always the people that are working out of the garage or anything like that. It's other shops. I mean, I've heard it. Bro. I'm like, I've not seen or physically seen, but I've heard, it's word travels. It's kind of fucked up. Like,
off the record, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's crazy. And it's concerning. It's people that should know not to do that and do it because either, again, it's a big job and they want to compensate for that big job, or it's going to potentially be more work and it's, we'll give them a deal on this one, but come the next one, it's going to be a fight to get that price back up. You've already set the bar. You know what I mean?
You're never coming back from that.
No.
Unless it's some kind of specialty thing. And, there is a business reason to sometimes come in, newer shops. You have things like sponsorships on custom cars and all that. I mean, right, they exist for a reason.
Right.
And there's certainly a place for them. And in 2018, image is a big thing. And, having this stuff across your social media, it's justifiable for a lot of these folks.
Right.
And just, man, when you involve other folk, other contractors and stuff, it gets a little ugly. For
right.
Sure. It'd
right.
be nice to keep that separated.
Oh man, I can't even think of, how many people lose their shirts because they get into a project, realize, fuck, I can't do this alone, bring somebody in, you've lost your profit, unfortunately,
Yep. Like I said, I'm losing my ass on this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a unique perspective. Like my company just being install only, like I work with everyone that listens to your show, essentially. My business doesn't really get generated on my own. I'm this neutral entity.
Mm-hmm.
And my social media isn't really very active, and a lot of it kind of circles back to that. The work I do is done by these companies that contract me.
Right.
And I kind of set it up in that sense. So
a lot of back end stuff going on that
nobody
nobody
they
sees.
say the customer is always right. So in this sense, the customer is the sign shop instead of the end client.
Right.
So terms like make it work, terms like, do your magic. We're losing our ass. We don't have money for the reprint. I mean, it's real, and it kind of, when channels like the Rap Police first started coming out, I remember getting upset at like a real early post by one of the offshoots before they even started. There's this food truck, Ferrari, or I don't know, it had some kind of curved logo in the bull.
Mm-hmm.
So the logo is getting chopped off in the wheel well. Terrible. Like, man, how couldn't you raise that up? The installer's shit. They call out the shop. And I'm looking at it. And if you were to raise up the print so the logo doesn't go into the wheel well, the name of their company would have bled off the roof.
Right.
And if you would have brought it to the back or the front, the text on the door would have bled off onto the body.
Just all around bad profiling all around.
Yeah. And it kind of sucks because I consider myself a professional in what we do. And I found myself in that exact situation, having it mocked up, saying, man, look, it's going here, it's going there. The whole thing was like oversized. I'm not much of a designer, but clearly something.
Something went wrong somewhere, and it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah, it becomes, this is what it is. Whether it came from a different state, whether whatever, it's got to get on. You're the last one touching it. You'll be held responsible, but also do whatever it takes, which sucks, man. It really is a hard place to be, as that third party.
Yep.
But it's the life some of us have chose, and there's some realness in that. If that's where they want to go, and that's my customer, and the customer is my boss, then that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to mock it up and measure it out in a way where I'll save the verbiage and the most essential parts of the logo and do the best I can with what I'm given truly. I'm not saying it is a cop out, but like that is my position a lot of the times in the world.
Yeah. It's a hard life, dude, being an installer, dude. I give you guys so many props because there aren't many shops, or for the lack of a better word, your clients that actually know how to profile a vehicle template the right way. I'm sure you've got clients that you're like, yeah, I'm fucking all day I'm working at this shop. I know I'm not going to walk into a fucking nightmare. Profiling's going to be perfect. Yeah. You've got clients like that you've already got that rapport. But on like a new client, that's, dude, me just talking about it puts a knot in my stomach. Because
it's scary. The longer it goes on, the scarier it is to make new connections with some of the shops, some of the local shops, because there's red flags. Yes. There's certain things that come up, certain keywords. When they start talking about the paper that they need to put on, I get the little cringe, when they say something to the extent of, oh, you just need to put this sticker on this thing. There's a joke among some of the rap shops I work with around here. It's like, oh, we put on stickers. Yeah. And I'll come in and say, we apply printable synthetic plastic polymers with adhesive backing onto substrates. Because you got to believe in yourself. You have to, if we're out here trying to make a living, if we're out here trying to elevate ourselves from regular incomes, improve our position in life, we do pretty amazing stuff with all this. It's our work by a lot of people's standards. You got to respect it. It's not fucking sticker. I'm not, we're not going out there to put some paper on your wall.
Like old school.
Yeah, man. No, this is, it's a profession.
Yeah. I love that you brought that up and have that verbalage, because honestly, at the end of the day, it does holds you to a higher extent. It puts you on that pedestal. You know, Charlie from LE calls all his rap installers, rap technicians. Like, that's fucking, dude, that's genius. Like, what do you do? I'm a rap technician. Oh, shit. What the fuck is that? Sounds like fucking, you had to go to school and fucking had to take some shit to get that fucking title. Like, what do you do? Well, and then you fucking spit that out. They're like, whoa, wait a minute. Where the fuck did that come from? You know? And
it's real.
It's real, dude. That's awesome. I love that, dude. I'm gonna have to snake that somewhere around and use it as my sales pitch, dude, because at the end
we could add to it a little bit.
Oh,
that's the joke in it. It gets longer every time.
Yeah. Start fucking Googling fucking dictionary, adhesive backers and just take out fucking words out of there, dude, that I'm probably not even gonna be able to spell out, but
it's easy though. It's like a lot of that is right there in the 3M books. I mean, I kind of pull it. It's a lot to keep on top of, but you know, they got E series and they have polyolefins and they have their plastic polymers. It's all PVC based, but some films aren't.
Right.
Some adhesives are pressure activated. Some are time and some are heat. Some are a mixture of all three. If you do it, and you're claiming to be one of the high ones, you better know this stuff.
Yeah, if you got called out, dude, and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, like, yeah. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, it's kind of your own fault. But for you to go above and beyond and actually read, and I'm not gonna sound like a fucking hypocrite, but I've never read the 3M booklets that they give you. To actually,
a lot of people don't.
No, because at the end of the day, you're either using a cast film or you're using a calendared. One's better for one install, the other one's better for the other install. And I've always been in that realm. I've never gone above and beyond as far as educating myself in exactly what the material is made out of. I know each one works differently, and I'm aware on how each one works and what the temperature is supposed to be for application, and if one's a little bit more pressure sensitive or one's got to be post heated as soon as you put it on. Like, I know all that, but to know the actual terminology of the film itself, what the fuck it does, dude, like, fucking hats off, bro. Like,
well, yeah, I'm sure I misquoted plenty in there, but
hey, but at the end of the day, you made it sound fucking
there it is.
Sophisticated, bro. Like,
no, you gotta believe. And there's a lot of types of these products. I mean, you hit on the head kind of knowing how each one of them works differently, and that's a version of being educated in all this stuff, because there's probably a lot of people out there that just view it through the lens of cast and calendared. Right. And there's a lot of folks that don't even know that.
Yeah.
Or about non-air regress films and like why you can use that maybe for a plot cut, but you can't wrap the side of a ProMaster and, well, cancel that because we were doing it in the day, but it's not such a good idea necessarily to print out non-air regress film and do that. And as a purchasing agent for some of these shops, I'm surprised the reps don't kind of get into that more. 3M itself, when you open it up, they have a lot of designations for vinyl.
Right.
But a lot of these folks, they may call you up with a question. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. We've used IJ30. Mm-hmm. It worked on these signs, so we're going to do whatever, this race car in it or something. It's like, well, if you talk to the rep, they're like, oh, it's 3M, 3M is a good film. It works.
Yeah. No matter which number.
Christ, man. They have so many products, and even 480, I'm surprised that, as far as I understand, they almost created that film because of the ProMasters and these envies and that deep recess area that folks seem to have trouble with through the country.
Yeah. Yep.
And they wanted one that would stretch further and that they could guarantee would stick in. But there's so many people doing ProMasters and they don't understand why it's failing, and oh my God.
Well, honestly, in my opinion, I don't think it ever took off. I think it was just, I don't know. I can't really say what it.
In my opinion, people associated it with being more expensive.
Honestly, it was at the tip of my tongue, but I can't, price is never going to be an option for me not to use it. If it's a product that's going to get me to where I need to be and get that installation done properly, price shouldn't be at the forefront of a questionable act to have.
Agree, man.
You know what I mean? Like, if 480 is the only thing you can use for this particular install, then we're fucking using 480. Like, it ain't no different than 180. You just have to know the technique to apply it to those deep recessed areas, which in my opinion, I never do. I always cut those fuckers out. I always blade drag that edge.
That's the recommended way. If you were to wrap one with 180, the 3M would tell you that you would cut and sink it and clean it up. And if you wanted to fill it in with color,
right,
you would do that. And that they formulated 480 for it. The difference, as far as I knew, was the amount of stretch that it could take.
Right.
They're like upwards of maybe 50% compared to like a 20
right
on 180. Now the film kind of works funny. It's not my ideal, but being one of the certified guys, it's the only one that I can warranty doing while you sink it in.
Right.
When you were talking to David, like, we work together a lot. There's techniques to sink it in. It'll stay. In my opinion, actually, I did a test with one of my clients some years ago as the trouble started coming up and NVs were popular. Avery 1105 seemed to kind of grab in there a little bit better than 3M 180. Going through the same process, we had like the IR gun to check the heat at that, precise 100 Celsius line every 2 inches per second. Like, I mean, fucking by the book, man,
Yep.
And on the second of the 3M bands, there was some little lifting. The Avery did what it had to do. You could stand behind it, and I do them all the time. Because again, my client, if that's what they want, that's what we're doing. We're doing it to the best of our ability to let it stay. But the only one I could reliably say that I could warranty is 480 because they stand behind it and they stand behind me being certified. So therefore I get to say to you, if there's any problems, we're going to get to the bottom of it.
Right.
Not that you wouldn't go back on your own work. We already do that and we'll fix it up to the best that we can, but I'm not going to eat the cost for you if we've had that conversation either.
Yeah. I mean, how far back are you going to go? Like, because it's got to get reprinted. It's got to get laminated. It's got to get production. There's time involved in it. You can't cover that. You can only cover, what you installed, the rest,
for sure.
The rest has got to come out of someone else's pocket, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, if it comes out of one of our pockets, it comes out of all of our pockets. So that kind of sucks. Like, we never want to get there,
Right. Right. How often are you even walking to a shop where they know, okay, we're doing a Pro Master, we're doing an Envy, we got to use 480. Probably.
There's a couple that would. It's a good part of my job is that when I link up with clients that really want to know how to do it the right way and they kind of value that input a little bit.
Well, that's good.
It doesn't necessarily, it's not quantifiable in money for consulting or something, but it's easy to talk with people that care.
Well,
and if they see the path, then we just go. And there's certainly a few that have adopted it. And if there was a bit of a price increase, they just kind of knew that as part of the job when they quoted it. They built in some back end for themselves and, we knock them down. It's nothing. Even if your technique isn't completely full on that recess and you're not leaching from the entire panel, that stuff is 50%. It's powerful. And I like going back to like knowing about your films. That kind of stuff resonates with me heavy when they say that this film can take, for instance, 20% stretch before discoloring, before the adhesive won't grab.
Right.
So that's something I can measure. If you look at one of those recesses and it's an inch down for easy math, and you have it bridged all the way up to it when people squeegee it tight, and it's squeegeed within an inch, well, you have 20% of an inch that could stretch down.
Which is fucking one more stroke.
It's less than a quarter.
Yeah.
It's not a lot, and you know it's going to fail out.
Right.
But as you start to build that down, you can say, between this whole panel, if I take it from all of it, it's only receiving, let's say 10%.
Right.
You're confident. It's all there for you. And nobody could come back and say anything because that's part of their product bulletin.
Right.
All these folks need to have this stuff documented.
Right. That's just, it's fucking crazy, dude. It's a lot of us don't even know what those recesses are sometimes. Nobody pulls out a tape measure and says, yeah, that's a quarter of an inch. I probably got to stop pulling it from, 3 inches down and tuck it all, tent the shit out of it and just fucking heat it with a roller.
There it is. Now the truth is coming out because that's how it goes.
Yeah, dude. I see it. Dude, I on the highway, bro, all the time. That's like, my eye is like a fucking hawk when I look at those things. I'm like, where's it bubbling? Where's it bubbling? Oh, there it is. Hey.
Yeah, where's Waldo?
Yeah, dude. Dude, no matter what that color could be white and the fucking van could be white. And that bubble sticks out like a sore motherfucking thumb. Like,
That's terrible, man.
Dude, it's so bad, man. And it's a lack of, technique and fucking training. And it's just, how do you not know? Like, I don't know. Like,
there might be traps though. Like, sometimes I get pissed off at our community because it's right there. If you were to ask Mr. 3M and you were wrapping it with IJ180 going back to that, he would tell you the appropriate measure is to cut and sink that thing.
Right.
But there's people out here that will see that and they go on Instagram or Facebook, which folks care way too much about, and say, look at these fucking hacks,
Right.
How could they? And it goes to customs too. Like, oh man, you wrap this body kit, wide body, whatever the fuck, it's got a literal shark fin in it, and I did it in one piece. Team no seam.
Yeah. Good for you.
Ignorance.
Let's see that in the week.
It kind of is. Like, if you can do it, it's really amazing. Like, and hats off, and there's folks that can do just magic with it.
Right.
But I don't think it's a good thing to put that into our community that if you don't do these things that you're a hack.
Right.
The art of understanding the restrictions of what you're working with is just as high, in my opinion, and not doing damage to something, trying to be that guy that does the gas tank in one piece or, whatever it is. That's how people wind up with razor cuts because you just couldn't get there and you need to relieve it, but you didn't think ahead.
Right.
There's no pre-built seam with knifeless or something. So you're going to use your steady hand and, oh man, the trouble folks get into.
It's there. It's not doing a test first to see if you can cowboy it in. You know what I mean? There's some places you can, there's some places you can't. It's just, at the end of the day, why would you want to spend that much time doing that? Because it looks good? You could have gotten this, you could tell the client, you could put a nice seam on a front bumper on one side and then no seam on the other side. The fucking client's never gonna know. Who cares?
Yeah, if you do it, if you have a plan for it and you do it cleanly, it'll be hidden within body lines.
Right.
It's the right way to go. It's about longevity.
And time.
And there's just, if you do it right, I don't agree with any kickback folks may receive from that because I would much rather see something clean like that than the attempt of it. You get the pictures of those fingers out and yeah, it'll come back and you'll fix it, but that's kind of out there. And there's a large portion of the car community that just is never going to get wraps, and they try and spread that out there because this is the type of thing that you get when you do business with these shops.
Right.
There's news stories out about like unregulated folks because you might learn how to do it. You get a warehouse to rent and you put your name and you put wraps at the name of it. And now you're a wrap shop.
Right.
Because that's all it really takes. And like, It does just as much damage as anything else.
I know. I mean, they say, what is it, for every 10 good clients, it only takes that one bad client to tell 50 people, and it's
yeah,
you know, you do
spiral.
Right. You do yourself no good doing that, and it's crazy. I mean, this is such a huge topic. I mean, we could talk about this for hours. I feel like it's just an ongoing cycle. And at the end of the day, I think a lot of us don't even have to worry about, those types of people out there, working out of a garage or whatever the case may be. And just our loyal clients will be there regardless. We'll make money. There's money to be made. Oh shit. I mean, commercial jobs, they're never going to have a lull of fucking white trucks. You know what I mean?
Of course. No, there's enough to go around for everybody, and some. There's jobs left undone.
100%, dude. Dude, you could drive down any Ford dealership, any Chevy dealership, and tell me they don't have a group of commercial trucks back there waiting to get picked up. It's crazy.
You know it.
There's work, dude. There's work. You just gotta find the right clients. You know what I mean? That's all it is. That's all it is. It's nuts. But to go back on your original, so you're doing some wall murals and stuff. What else you got cooking for the rest of the week? Do you already have your week planned out?
Yeah, I'll be heading back out tomorrow. Actually, this was another assist. Somebody got into a staircase up a few stories, from what I understand, and they need to get behind bars and the cutting in at each step and all the obstructions. They kind of ran into it, and I'm gonna come deal with them tomorrow during the day, and then at night I'll be heading over to the airport. My shop is actually right across from Fort Lauderdale Airport, and I've been in there for a couple of weeks doing a lot of stuff. So much stuff, man. Last week was a banger, bud. Just day and night. So we did the connecting sky bridge between like the garage and the airport. It was pretty cool. It's glass with people movers down the center. Mm-hmm. And then they have corrugated metal above it. So we did perp on the glass and solid vinyl on the corrugated metal, matching images down the whole bridge.
Wow.
And then the glass on the people movers each side of both of them moving. Just some images. I mean, there's so much of that in places, in airports and things like that. Every time I go flying around, I can't help but just notice the little bridge that connects to the airplane, decals on the side of that, the bars and the barricades for the stuff coming. Out in TSA, they got all these columns and baggage claims, and some of the states, they even do the metal on the baggage claim as it comes out, them little half moon metal pieces.
Right.
I've been down that road in the past, so.
Vinyl is fucking everywhere. You know what I mean?
You open your eyes to it, yeah.
Fuck.
It's funny when you tell your friends and family, like, oh, what do you do? And you kind of like tell them about the side of the bus that's kind of you, and some of the bus stops in front of stores, and they're like, wow. And you just see their minds explode because it's fucking all around us, man.
Right.
And hold it while it's here.
That's it.
There are certain mediums that are coming through as well. Even as we're talking about the airport, a lot of the murals that I used to do are fabric tension banners. Mm-hmm. You see that in a lot of places. And I think up by you guys, they were trying this run with like LED screens on the side of some of the buses to see about.
Just about to say that. It's an easier application as far as switching it out. It's a matter of being remote, and it's like, oh, new design on bus 453, boom, done. You know what I mean?
It's scary, man, and that's probably the future.
Picture.
We'll see about it. I've seen some films too that are programmable. Some on my LinkedIn came through. They had like the back of an SUV in Asia. They wrapped it with a transparent film, and they were able to program like a television going across the back of this car into the curved window of an SUV. It was like,
what?
I don't even know.
How do
I
you...
really don't even know.
That's mind blowing, dude. It's like, how do you even like start the thought of that?
I don't know, but it keeps me up at night. A couple years ago, 3M had this thing too. I don't know if it was SEMA or somewhere, but they had this like a transparent film again, and it was able to project holograms for one. They were talking about something where they had a sphere and you could reach out and you could feel the damn shape of the sphere in the hologram. That's blowing my mind. And then they put one on the tabletop and they were able to have like Pac-Man run on it or something, but it was put on like a transparent or a frosted or something and had the electrodes in them. There's a real popular one down here that's like maybe an alternative to frosted glass. You put it on and it's clear. And if the door closes or if you hit something through your little app, the whole thing just turns opaque. Oh,
I've seen that. It's like a privacy. It's like a quick privacy thing.
Yeah, man. That's pretty amazing. Okay. And we're heading there. And I enjoy thinking about that stuff sometimes and imagining where we're going all of this. You
think we're going to have to go get UL certified to start working with vinyl now?
You know, it depends on your line of thinking. If you're about customizing cars and changing the color of it and all this, that's kind of your avenue. But I work with a lot of folks that would consider themselves more on the marketing or the advertisement side. And that's a whole different lens to view the world through. You know, and in that sense, yeah, you might want to consider going to do that stuff and knowing about your electrics and your programming.
Balances and voltage and shit like that.
They had that Lumalore paint. I'm pretty sure you've seen that.
Yep.
I caught it across Instagram. You know, it's electric paint.
Yep.
And it will light up and do certain things. And there's room for that in what we do. And I'm sure we're going to be seeing it sooner than you think.
Yeah, definitely. Someone will find a way to use that within the wrap and just completely, again, just change the industry. And
believe it. I want to see solar cells and roof wraps, man.
Solar cells and roof wraps.
Yeah, embedded in the vinyl.
Ooh.
You know, there's some shit out there.
Oh,
I work with one company. I just got back from Washington State a couple weeks ago, and we were doing energy boxes and utility boxes. I don't know if you guys do it too much up there, but like at intersections, they'll have these ugly boxes and they'll beautify them. There's usually a city budget.
Right.
A lot of times it's local artists.
Right. Yep. They'll go out and paint them.
So there's a fella that really believed in that, and I started working for his company maybe like 4.5 years ago. And he wanted to get into his own film with like certain properties. Mm-hmm. And we talk about it a lot, and they started production, and I would do some R&D for them, and we tested against certain conditions and how you go about it in different ways. All these years later, he gets awarded his patents, and he's going to market with this stuff. I'm not really sure where he's at in the process, but he, not just him, his company has made this film that's anti-graffiti, truly, which is a claim that only they get to make apparently. And, it's UV reflective, not resistant. So one thing to the test is, in the way that they built this film up, whatever they used inside of it, it actually shoots it back. So if you have electronics in a cabinet, and you put this on here, it's shown to lower the temperature. And if you lower the temperature of electronics by hypothetical 3 degrees, you can say that you improve the life on that system by 2 years.
Wow.
That system is worth, 30 or 50,000 in each box at each intersection in this entire freaking country. That's thinking outside the box.
Holy shit. Yeah, you're telling me That's insane. So it deflects energy, sun, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, it's the UV apparently in that case. A lot of our stuff is UV resistant, they'll say, which means it'll hold up being outside, but it'll fade over time. Which of course this does too. It has a life expectancy, but it's able to reflect some of those UV rays. So it's whatever it's wrapped in is actually cooler being outside, which is, it's quite the claim. And in this application, it really means something to these people.
Fucking good niche. I'll tell you.
It's quite the thing. And to be there from like the conception, just talking about it, like almost over bar napkins. And then, him and his investors believing and just going and try and pay attention to people like that, man. They don't think like the rest of us. Yes. It's not like I can't do it. I don't believe in myself. It's whatever. It's just cold hard. It's logic. Does this make sense? How do we achieve this goal? These are the steps. Let's fucking go.
Right.
Oh, it gets me off. We need more of that.
Yeah, man, that's insane. So now, is this printable material as well, or is it just colored?
No, it's with printing in mind. That's what it's for. So the applications we use it for is like I said, I got back from Washington. So what they do in a place like that and a lot of the other ones is every city has budgets.
Right.
For certain things, and beautification of their city is one of them that everybody has. They just use to spend it in different ways. And they'll come in here, and a lot of times it has to do with local artists. It's actually it's pretty wild, but the first ones I started on were local artists from, I was in Issaquah, and there's a local Indian tribe that starts with an X. It's like SAXQ, some odd. I'm going to butcher it, so I won't even try. Right? But, they have symbology that means things to them. Salmon is like really big for that region. It has there's mythical stories behind it. On a past trip, there was salmon related things. They're messed up about salmon in Washington. God bless y'all. And, they're telling me as I'm doing these, hey, listen, this is our time frame. Tribe artist did them, and the chief is coming to do a ceremony and bless the artwork in boxes on Monday. So I needed to be done by Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
You ever wrap something that was blessed by a freaking Indian chief? You know how hard on point all them corners needed to be. Everything was, man, I was feeling it.
Yeah, it's a bigger purpose.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, man. It's like going to church and the priest's like, listen, you gotta do this wall mural of Jesus.
Exactly.
Do what you do. No fucking pressure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he's watching you always.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Don't worry about it. No pressure. I'm only gonna bless it when you're done as well. And, everybody's gonna see it. Oh yeah, I'm not shitting my pants. No.
Hey, listen, that's what we do. You put on the mask, yes, right away.
Yep.
You're going to like the way it looks. I guarantee it. Men's Warehouse.
Men's Warehouse. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. You're going to love the way it looks, Men's Warehouse. Oh my God.
Oh, that's key.
Oh, we got to use that somewhere, dude. And we got to make a meme. We got to make a meme.
I feel our meme game could get stronger, definitely as a community.
Oh my God, dude. I could tell you between, you guys down in Florida, up here in Boston, LA, dude, we can come up with memes for days for the rap industry.
It might be sooner than you think. Speaking ahead of my time, but there's been certain moves being made. There's placements in the works. 2019.
Oh shit.
We'll see what we can do. Help out the common man.
I love it.
Don't let your memes be dreams, Jeff.
Oh shit. Your memes be dreams. Dude, I think we're gonna have to write some type of little booklet here and our verbalage, about the conversation and certain things.
Yeah. Revisit it and take out a couple of keynotes.
That's it, bro. Keynotes.
I like it.
I love that shit, man. That's amazing. That's amazing. So, all right. So you came back. What else you got cooking this week? Is that kind of like you're going to finish off the week with that? With finishing
the store,
up
the airport. I have some mall work, and then it's a crazy life to live, but it always goes like this, is just jobs floating, awaiting confirmation, and kind of, it's almost like the AAA driver, like balancing being on call.
Yep. Yep.
With trying to schedule, it's a balance. The only way I could justify it is just a first come, first serve. And you get a sense of which jobs are closer to confirmation than others, I guess, but it's still a balancing act for sure. And, everybody they want you to be there for them. That's our industry is real bang bang. Like a crazy amount. And it's already that way from the top to the bottom. So by the time anybody worries about getting it up, it's funny, but they don't even consider it. It's like, it's getting it in, it's getting it scaled, designed, the production, the lamb, the trimming, the outgassing, whatever their process. Like, that's what they're worried about, and it's not really looking at the whole thing. So then you'll get contacted kind of right at the end a lot, and you do your best
to make it happen.
Essentially, yeah. It's hard not to take it personal, man, because you build up. I don't know how many I have. Maybe there's like 35 something clients. There's certainly nationals in there, but there's local people you work with more. And every time you can't be there, man, it hurts a little.
Yeah,
it's
man.
A little inside. Feel like you're letting them down.
Yeah, but they get it. I mean, they're your clients for a reason. They understand the way you work and the deadlines. Those are the types of guys that, you get the one calls or the couple calls a year from specific one client, and it's always like, when the phone rings, you either have a special message there that tells you, like, don't answer it, or
warning.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You've got that crazy fucking ringtone for that specific person that you don't have to look to know who it is calling you, and it's you get it. Your clients are there, they're your bread and butter. They understand, and sometimes you gotta kind of make a sacrifice and just.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the only way it happens. We're all in it together, at least. Like, that's kind of my viewpoint. I'm kind of glad Installaway there, he said, my little saying, I guess, to the people that I'm around is conspirators, not competitors.
Right.
And that's, it's big for me, and that's kind of the model of my business, is just my work. It naturally generates from the rap industry succeeding.
Right.
It's kind of easy. It keeps it simple for me, man. That means everybody that's attached to this needs to come up. And, if you know me or you're around me, you got my full effort to that end.
Yeah. You've got a great network, dude, between, all you guys, For Vectors, Mr. Miyagi, Hanir, like, you guys, like, I almost feel like you guys should just fucking open up one big ass shop and just be one big ass company. 'Cause you guys kill it regardless, separately and together, networking together. I feel like if you guys just like worked day in and day out together all the time, you guys would take.
You boys listening?
Yeah, right? Come on.
Hear this? Come on, boys.
I mean,
get it moving.
It seems like every time, like, Hanir puts something up, it's either like you're in the background or even Dan's down there for fucking from the East Coast, like up north. What the fuck are you doing down there? Like, he wants to be part of the group too. Yeah, it's all about networking, and it, if you see it, you understand, like, fuck, these dudes are like boys, like they're always together.
They're always like networking. You don't see one without the other half the time. It's so funny. Like when I see posts with all you guys, it's like, fuck, oh, there's 2 out of the 3, or there's 3 out of the 4. It's like, holy shit. Everybody's like networking. It's so cool to see that, because a lot of the time you don't see enough of it is basically.
Yeah, it's easy to be aggressive, and we're all in the same line of work, and we could be taking it.
Right.
To be able to meet people that understand it takes a village, and we go our own ways, but we come back kind of like the ocean or waves or something.
Yep.
As they hit, it's just confidence that you got folks around you, and it's a blessing. It's a real blessing, because I know around the country it's not necessarily like that, and even in our own backyard, it's not necessarily like that. So
yeah,
that's the beauty of this.
For sure, bro. It's nice. It's a breath of fresh air, to say the least. You know what I mean? It's nice to see that, because, dude, it's competitive up here in the north, man. Dan will tell you. Fucking
he does.
Cutthroat, man. Cutthroat, like zero.
It's brutal.
It's very, very bad.
It really is brutal, man. Those are the conversations we have. I mean, I'll tell you, just as much as getting the work done and the people that listen to this show, if you have other folks in the industry to just talk about those struggles with, it's a major thing. To be able to have a sounding board and be able to get that stuff out and kind of just
shine light,
look towards solutions instead of just being buried by like the struggle of this world. It's heavy, no matter what we're in, and this industry is no different.
Right.
It's dangerous to go alone. So get you a rap friend.
Get you a
girls. Do it right.
For real. Get you a rap friend. We should make like dolls or something. You know what I mean?
There's a merch line buried somewhere in all of this.
There definitely is.
We gotta. My people will get to your people. We'll hash out the details. Nominal fees.
For sure.
Very minimal stuff.
Love it. That's fucking awesome, dude. I could see that happening. Just
2019,
bro. It's fucking right around the corner. Think about it. We're like what?
I'm not waiting. Yeah.
3.5 weeks, give or take.
Yeah.
Maybe?
No, we're still, first week of December here, but no reason to wait till the end.
Fuck
I've kind of been on a new year since, October maybe.
After SEMA or
I'm
something.
done with this one.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It was 2018 a good year for you?
Every year is a good year, by a standard definition. It wasn't without its struggle.
Right.
For sure. And, maybe more than some, but that's what makes us who we are.
That's it, bro. Just look forward to a fresh start, new year, new set of struggles.
Well, we're already here, man. That's what I mean. It's starting now. I feel fresh and clean.
Definitely. like you just been baptized or something.
Absolutely. Rap Jesus came by and sprinkled the holy water on me.
Oh shit.
Dude, it's so crazy. Like, I don't know how much you got into it. That's installed away. In case y'all didn't hear that episode, Mr. Rap Jesus with a Z.
Yeah.
But it was coined by our mutual friend Dan from Loud Raps, and we were the first connection because we met at the 3M certification, and then he started meeting all these guys down here, and he's on social media and he sees everything that Install Away has done and how back he goes and all this. It's like, man, this guy, he's like biblical or something. T, like, yo, what's good? Does he just show up and like miracles with vinyl happens? And he started devolving. He's on some Book of David. It became its own monster, So if he doesn't have enough nicknames, Miyagi-san, you got the Rap Jesus thing going, not to be confused with Rap God, gods, or holy trinities of any kind. The original Rap Jesus, A1305.
Oh shit, man, I'm fucking crying. Oh my God. I don't think anyone's got me to cry on the show yet. Oh my God. My fucking stomach
beautiful.
hurts, bro. Oh.
You got to share that with Dan. You know, he made that happen. He's one of the
Damn.
real ones.
Oh my God. What, do you have any other nicknames? Has Dan dubbed you anything yet?
You know, I'm a mystical guy. I'm hard to nail down. You know, I'm like a ghost, kind of. I appear, things become wrapped, I disappear. Nobody knows what happens.
Oh shit!
But it is funny, right? Because my name is TJ, and I know people have trouble. There's not a lot of time in the day, so I figured, hey, I'll make it 2 letters. Easy to remember, no problem, right? How many people call me T? Tej.
They make it harder on themselves.
Come on, man, it's 2 letters, y'all. Like, I can't do no more.
You're right. It's like, where do you go from there? Do you become Prince and fucking make a symbol?
That's it. There's no pleasing the people, man. You just got to do you.
Never, dude. Never. And even then, how do you have a conversation via phone with, you know, you make a symbol? Like, hey.
Yo.
You're like, what?
Yeah, on
what?
some Prince shit.
Yeah. It's like, what, dude? What? Oh, fuck.
Just make it sound like a dying giraffe. Then know it's you.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. If anybody else's stomach is fucking killing them from laughing. Oh, shit. Wow. This has got to be, you know, and I called this, you know, prior to us, you know, going live here. I said, I can feel it. Like, this is going to be a fucking killer episode, bro. I'm going to laugh. There's going to be some stories and fucking, it's been
an hour. It wasn't just fluff.
Yeah, no, for sure. We're an hour in and I'm like hot. Damn. Fucking about to lose some t-shirts now.
Well, listen, it's all right, man. You rehydrate yourself.
Yeah. Thank God I got
back in order.
Got my soda here with some fucking chewy lemon heads. I'm fucking chilling.
You wild, man.
Living on the edge, bro.
I see you out there.
You know?
Christ. I heard the stories, but I didn't know.
Oh, fuck. Unreal. Well, dude, I usually don't even get into, you know, this far in and get into like your backstory, but I feel like you've got a really good backstory and we better get into it, you know, or you're going to be creeping up on Hanir's,
oh yeah, please. No, time. I can't do that. That's terrible. Yeah. I'm sorry to the people.
Yeah, that was definitely a 3-parter, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, it took me a couple days.
Oh,
it took too. I finished it the second day.
Yeah, dude, literally, like, everybody that listened to it was like, man, it took me like 2, 3, took me the whole week, whatever the case may be. I kept on going back, you know, on that episode.
We can't have it, man.
No, we can't. We can't.
What can I do for you? What do the people want to know?
What do the people want to know? People want to know where you came from, like how you got into this industry and, you know, your little backstory.
All right. Well, I mean, the number one factor in getting into the rap industry for me was being a pickup truck owner. And it turns out it's not just good for moving people's houses on the free ski. Sometimes you run into people that need to do big work. There was this group that sold the job. Actually, the first people I worked for, and they all had like chargers and various cars, and they needed scaffolding, ladders and planks and all this stuff. And the fellow with the truck is right there. I was actually just between restaurants. I was at the second restaurant that closed without me knowing it was coming. I was a chef in a different life and, just had time for the work. I took out all their equipment and then, you know, I'm the sort of guy where I'm already here. What's up? What are you doing? They were doing a glass storefront on this whole building, a ton of vinyl, man. They were out there for a minute and, well, yeah, I'm just doing it. All right, cool, man. And I just stood by and I grabbed this trash. The wind got to flapping. I'd hold the panel. You know, later on I realized that's really the help that people need. If anything, it's not like trying to do it next to them that messes them up. It's just letting them do their thing. And then by the end of that few days, I was installing glass.
Wow.
And then, it was a run from there. I started with my friends that had their own company, and we did stuff all over the East Coast and here. Just heavy work.
Just all glass work.
Well, that first job was glass, but their specialties was like transit. They did buses and trains, just like immensely. There were some semi trucks. One of my favorite jobs ever actually was early on with that company. We're all Florida boys, and somebody lands an account for 40 some odd 53-foot semi trailers at Coca-Cola in Maryland.
Wow.
In the winter.
In the winter. Oh.
Always in the winter.
Always.
And DID and then redo. And that was back when like Lowen was the king of that. So they're sending out their kits of pre-mask with liquid lamp.
Yep.
Like the thin skin.
Yep. And,
the rivets. Holy shit.
Yep.
You know how many rivets are on a 53-foot semi truck, Jeff?
Thousands.
People. Tens of thousands. So many thousands. And it's a big job, but it was cool because what made it one of my favorite jobs is that I was friends with these people already. There were some installers, but something like that needs just hands too. So that means other people that are tied to your circle have gainful employment for like a month, and there were 7 or 8 of us that went out there.
Right.
And we stayed there for over a month and, essentially like took over the floor of this crappy motel in some strange, I think it was Wilkes-Barre, Maryland, if I'm not mistaken. And we just, we cranked it out. We worked really long. We get back. We kind of unwind, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And, the owners of the company were real psyched too, because that was the growing of it. It was years and years ago now. So, there wasn't so many people on that tip, and just the late nights talking about, the idea of like an installation company that could go and do this everywhere. I don't know.
Those were the talks back then.
It's amazing to see it happen. It's really cool that your friends can participate in it, that everybody was able to earn money. You really knocked out a very, pretty heavy job.
Yeah.
It just feels all around.
With not the best of media back then, you know what I mean? As far as like no lamb, transfer paper, like. Yeah,
it was kind of crazy for sure. I started getting upset with with the rivets, and it's funny because these guys are, there was this fella Mark that was just an animal, man, like a savage beast. He would lay vinyl like he breathed. So he was kind of the one that set the bar, but I'm looking at it, and the way the rivets were going down with the pre-mask, I didn't like it. So I would mock up my first panel, and I would kind of do my thing to get it done. But from there, I would measure out where the rivet lines would be, and I would pre-tear my pre-mask through where the rivets would go, and I would keep it on the other solid parts to maintain like the integrity of the panel. And they're like, whatever, Mark coming by, what are you doing? I've already laid like 16 semis by myself, half asleep. I'm like, screw you.
I got this.
But there was something to it. It made my job easier to go back. I have much less to do. Or the people behind me doing rivets were thankful for my sides. They were racing to them more so than the other ones, because you would spider out with pre-mask over rivets, and you'd have to.
Fucking nightmare.
It's not just poking it. Yeah, you'd have to get them fingers out first and really caress it down. We talked about the tens of thousands of them. So
tell the listeners, the newbies that are in the game, what you had
y'all don't know.
What you had to do to get those fucking rivets down back then.
So one thing that a lot of folks would carry in their pocket or something, which is awesome to have in your pocket, is like the stirrups from cowboy boots.
Yeah.
They had one on a stick, and it was just fucking 15 needles on a wheel, that you were just going to hold around and get stabbed with constantly. And you could use that to go up and down the rivet lines, or if you weren't so lucky, you had your air release tool, a little needle on a stick that some people will charge you $35 for. You know, and you poke them and you got your rivet brush and you got your foam roller and it's like the 3-step. You come in, you form it to the rivet, you poke holes, you get it down, you heat it to seal the holes. 2 more holes, rivet brush that bitch down, heat it, rivet brush it down. 1 and rivet. And then you look to the left and you look above you. You know, and it's 12 feet high and it's 53 feet long. And they're spaced at every half inch or something.
If there's anything made of nightmares, I would say that would have probably been it.
It's, you know, it's up there. Certainly. Everything has its little struggle. The removals. Oh, some of the old removals are terrible, and all the chemicals you gotta potentially get into.
I've never seen those removed. I've always seen them just wrapped over and over and over. Dude, just layer on top of layer. They wouldn't change them out. Oh my God. It's bad enough putting it on. Never mind taking it off.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing. And I've been through my share of those too. Just as luck would have it. And, my God, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to quantify too, even trying to quote out a removal.
Oh,
I struggle with that. I try and steer to an hourly rate, but it's difficult to kind of put that across because how many hours? Well, I'm not really sure.
Right.
You know,
right.
It could be in this range and it's a wild range and I definitely get it, but I don't know another way to go about it.
Right. And it's not like you're going to be out taking, 15-minute smoke breaks and running that clock. It's like...
No, you're going in and you're going in with help. And it's still... The one that taught me was the Miami Dolphins down here have a cargo van that's been wrapped for some years. And they say, look, you and your 3 friends here, remove the van and we'll give you 4 nice tickets to the Chicago Bears Dolphins game, whatever year that was. It had to be 7, 8 years ago, something. Sounds like a good deal. 4 guys, 4 full 8-hour days.
Wow.
That's retarded. Some people break that down in man hours. So 32 hours times 5. I mean, come on. You're talking 170 fucking billable hours into this wrap. To go to the Dolphins game, for the Dolphins Stadium to be 70% Chicago fans and them to beat the pants off the Fins. It was terrible.
Listen,
they won by so many points.
Listen, if it was anything like the fucking game last week, bro, I'm not even gonna fucking touch that shit. But
Miami Miracle.
Fuck, dude.
Amazing.
Not to fucking switch it up, but holy shit, you got fucking lucky.
No, it's infamy. And it's funny because I root for the Raiders harder, but I keep my eyes on the Fins being down here. And that's, I gotta tell you, the city was in the streets.
I believe it. What the fuck? The last
We could
play.
be 1-14 if we take one from you guys, man.
Yeah, you're fucking welcome.
Yeah. Hey, come on, man. Sometimes the people need a little lift up, man.
I guess, dude.
It's hard out here, man.
We'll give it to you. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Take one. It's all right. Brady broke that record. You know what I mean? That's all that matters. This fucking guy doesn't
got all
care.
The records.
Yeah, he don't give a shit anymore, dude. As long as he throws the ball, he's good.
When they put him in the dirt and they find out he's been a cyborg this whole time and they take away everything, you already got the asterisk by the Super Bowls, man.
Oh, shit.
Isn't that a good look?
Yeah. Deflategate, fuck.
Yeah, it's gotten a little rough out there. You might want to.
Yeah, we can take it though, dude. We can take it. Fucking us Bostonians,
Bunch hard breed.
My
family is actually from there.
Oh, really?
I didn't grow up there, but my father and all his siblings, they moved down here from Mass. They were in Lynn, I think.
Lynn. Hey, want to hear the rhyme? I don't know if you know it.
Go ahead. I think I have.
Lynn, city of sin. You never come out the way you went in.
That sounds about right.
That's
the story
fucking.
you tell me that must have been a place in the day.
Dude, it is still the fucking place of the day, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. It's lots of violence. And literally, Lynn, to me, I'm in Peabody, is literally 10 minutes. Like, there's Lynn,
Damn.
there's Peabody, there's Salem, which everybody knows, the witch trials.
Yep.
That's literally fucking a hop skipping away from where I am. That's where Halloween.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
To live right next to. Holy crap, buddy.
It's insane, dude. Literally, the streets are just filled with hundreds and hundreds of people. It's literally October is the worst time to be anywhere near like these three cities, you know, cause we all connect. It literally, you have to come into one, and the only way to get out is through those. There's no other way out, and it's just traffic, dude, all of October. My first shop that I opened up was literally in the heart of Salem. So like, I'd always have to come in like 3 hours early and leave 3 hours early, because it's just, for me to get from point A to point B, which usually takes me about 10 minutes to get on the highway, would literally take me 45. That's how much traffic would just be like jammed up.
That's brutal.
It's crazy.
I mean, I could sympathize with you being from a touristy kind of area, you know.
Yep.
It's, those times are hard.
They are.
You know, it's a shame that it kind of gets blown over like that during that time. The rest of the year, I've gotten to go out a couple times just from family being out there. The city's pretty unique.
It
is.
The
history there is wild as hell, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Lynn has gotten better, in time. They've cleaned up the area. It's very overpopulated. But I'm sure you've heard stories. It's just like, you know, if you know Boston, you know Dorchester, you know Brockton, Hyannis. It's very, you know, those are our, like, you know, bad spots.
Special areas.
Yeah, you know.
They got out of there a minute ago, and shit.
Good for them.
35 now, and I think my pop came here when he was still a teenager.
Nice.
16, 17 or something like that. But, the natural Massachusetts connection.
That's awesome. See, we're brothers, you know.
Exactly.
Some way, somehow, we're what do they call that? 5 degrees of separation or whatever that thing is.
6 degrees.
6 degrees.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. See?
There's truth in that, man. You know, I think we're all related. All people in some form. That's the way I look at it for sure.
Yeah. Do you think the evolution, you know, not to get fucking like deep into fucking, yeah, you know what I mean? Do you think the evolution of this whole monkey thing, like we actually resonated from all that? Like just ended up like one fucking monkey was just like, I'm gonna walk today, and all of a sudden all of them are walking, and next thing you know.
You have to overcome. I don't know. I can believe it.
Yeah.
I see it every day. You know, people that got to do what they got to do, they do it suddenly.
Fuck it.
They might not have had the means, but you gotta make it happen. There's a decent chance. Hell, I still see some of them walking around today.
Yeah. For real.
Neanderthals, you know?
Yeah. Oh shit. I mean, that's the type of shit that keeps me up. Like, I get into like fucking, I think I fall into these fucking rabbit holes on fucking YouTube, dude. Like, I start watching.
Business.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, it's just, you start watching one video and then you watch another and you're like, what the fuck am I watching? And you're like, oh my God, I'm intrigued. Let me watch another one. Next thing you know, 2 hours of your life are gone and you can't fucking ever get that back. And then you
come water cooler tomorrow telling them about how aliens invented Velcro and fucking.
For real. Like, it's literally like coffee conversations in the morning. Like, hey, did you know? Just like useless fucking information that we like. They're like, dude,
the whole office starts creeping away from you.
Yeah, it's stay away from Jeff. He's a little fucking weird today. Like,
yeah, man, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, you can't. There's certain things you can bring up in a office atmosphere that, you know, you kind of push put that line in the sand.
Aliens, the Illuminati, like you gotta leave some stuff at the door.
Yeah, I think, yeah. And if you're bringing that to work, fucking A, more power to you,
That's why you need a rap friend.
Yeah.
They'll always talk to you about that.
Yeah, they might not talk back, but, they'll give you a couple fucking nods like, I get ya,
Sometimes you just need a good listener, man.
That's it. Just a lend an ear. So that's fucking crazy, dude. So going from a pickup truck, people needing you, all of a sudden giving a helping hand, holding some vinyl, to now installing vinyl right after that.
Yeah, I mean, it's I created the company in May of 2012. So whatever that would be now, 6.5 some odd years, I guess, since I incorporated and just kind of went on my own way. It's been an interesting run. I touched on it some, but I came from, before this, I was a chef. I went to school for that. And
you went to culinary school. Which one did you go to?
The prestigious Atlantic Technical.
Wow.
Of Margate, Florida. Yes, I did the year certification course. But it's funny because I came out of there and there were folks from Cordon Bleu coming to apply as line cooks, as I worked my way up the chain. So it's kind of funny how that goes. But,
imagine. College is college, right? You learn as you go. You get your certification, you learn more. And, so as far as like...
It was a path.
It was a path, right. Exactly.
For me, certainly, because what I should have been doing is roofing.
Roofing?
My father, all his brothers, their father and their father before them had like a lumber yard / roofing from up north and then down to here. And, it's hot here.
Yeah, nobody's going to be up on a roof.
And that's how I started. And I mean, my pop, while I was cooking, my pop took a nasty spill actually off a roof, and I wound up taking over his business while he was laid up in the hospital that year with my brother. And I knew that wasn't sustainable. I mean, my uncles, my father, like the back, the knees, the skin cancer, the asphalt chop.
Yeah.
One of the earliest things you do is get an axe and you take tar that comes cold and you chop it into pieces and you run a hot kettle that burns at 750 degrees and just bubbles tar that you mop onto flat roofs and you demolish them. You go up with spades and pickaxes and hammers, and I mean, that was my work genesis.
Wow.
And it taught me, everything taught me along the way. But, I always have perspective from doing that kind of work. So, cooking was something, I had an older cat that I knew and he was kind of like a mentor to me. He was a chef. I respected him. I had this thing for just wanting to make sure that anybody connected to me always had a hot plate as like a reason for wanting to become a chef. We all come from hard places in our own ways. And that was part of mine. So it was important to me. And that was the path.
Wow.
Certainly to get out of roofing, and it made sense to do it. I climbed up the chain in different ways. I was 15 and I got a job at Bread of Life before Whole Foods bought them. And that was like a food industry thing. And I started saving money for the school. I took the high school diploma at 16 and I started culinary school right away.
Wow.
I was working full time there. So that was the way for almost 10 years until the rap thing kind of popped off, and working with that company in the beginning was the way for a while, and it was good to be with friends and get it done. And that wound up running its course, and created this company, and it was my first company that was mine. So it was big to do it on the books. It was big to do it right. It's kind of funny when you go through all this, like I create a corporation, they want you to fill out these minutes, and they want mission statements and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So somewhere in the world, I don't know if it's cataloged or not, but I remember my mission statement for the creation of Global Graphic Installations was to prove that there was an ethical and moral way to earn money in this business without basing your profit margin on the backs of poverty level wages for your employment.
Dude, you're like on a whole fucking other level, bro.
That was my mission.
I am way too stupid to be talking to you right now.
Come on, man.
Dude, seriously, bro.
You know exactly what I said.
I know, but man, you intelligently fucking use these unbelievable fucking words, dude. Like, I get it, bro, but holy shit. And going back, bro, 2012 starting, and like, you don't, like, I don't even know how to fucking even phrase this, you know what I mean? But like, you didn't think of taking the easy road out. Like, you wanted to do it right. And that is so fucking different than what people's mindsets now would think. Like, hey, why don't I just try it out for a year, make some money, see what happens? Like, no, you fucking put all your eggs in one basket. You're like, I'm going to build this business, see where it takes me. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to get it incorporated. I'm going to get insurances. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then you fucking write a statement like that? Holy shit. Dude, I don't even think I ever wrote a fucking mission statement in my fucking life, and I ran a business for fucking almost 12 years.
It's been a learning experience. You know, I had a partner early on, and nobody teaches you any of this stuff, and it's really easy to, I don't know, when I open my eyes and look around, a lot of folks, it's easy to brush off in the sense of, oh, I'm not really good with numbers or finance, or like, oh, all that legal jumbo, like somebody else deals with this, or I don't deal with it at all. Right. Kind of potentially like, just like the film, I have to know. Yeah, I have to know how it works, you know, and I'd go and talk to these CPAs, and I'd sit down, and I got my little accounting for dummies, and the invoicing, the financing, the taxes, the insurances, the forms, the W-9s, all this stuff. But it was a natural, it's kind of funny. I was almost pushed into it anyway by the way this industry is. It's really funny. And it might have contributed to all of the small shops around, but all these folks wanted work to be produced, but none of them wanted employees because of the trouble you get in with employees and payroll. Right. So what does that designate you as? If you're getting hired for work, but you don't have a set schedule and you're not an employee, you get 1099, essentially. Which is a way worse tax bracket to be in. It definitely is, especially as, well, it not necessarily definitely is, but it usually becomes that way because they're 1099ing individuals. Right. So all these guys that would hang around rap shops and it's like, oh, you're not happy with 100 a day. And then one of the first things I learned is there's some, like, every state is different, I'm sure, but in Florida, they hit me with a self-employment tax because I wasn't an entity. Yep. That was $2,500 off rip. Yep. Before we started talking about our taxes. Yep. Well, shit, you know, if you want to 1099 me as a subcontractor, I might as well be a subcontractor, truly. Right. So, I mean, that was kind of a nudge in that direction. You know, understanding what it is, because a lot of cats just kind of went with that role. Like, you're still on the clock, you're still 9 to 5. I've seen, dude, as far as the employees go and all the stuff that people do to make it work, like, I remember being around a shop and there was an older cat that worked there and he fell off a ladder. And, they're all done the same way. Like so many people are, you just kind of work there and you get paid, and the company is going to just throw that 1099 at the end of the year, right? Yeah. They write you off. You're basically a write-off to them. Yeah. You're an expense. So the other people working there were like, immediately, you know, call the cops, all this shit, get the ambulance going like this. The owner of the shop is like, can you drag them to the middle of the street? Yeah, I knew it. The property. I fucking knew that was coming. I was just like waiting. Yeah. Yep. Get them off the property. Yep. It's business. In the roof, it was the same thing. Just so you know, if you fall off a roof, you're fired in the middle of the air. Yeah. Because it's not the falling that fucking hurts you, it's the stopping. Right. Yep. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Like literally, oh,
Again,
there's John, he's
back.
fucking fired. There's he go. Boom. All right. Yep. Let's just put him out.
It's that easy. There's kind of loopholes to it, and the common people, all of us, the majority of folks out here, trying to play the same game, accepting the lot is not acceptable to me. So there's different ways of thinking about it. Incorporating was one of those ways of fighting back.
Yeah.
And hopefully showing that there's, just like the mission statement said, the people attached to me that are doing this work are going to get paid properly so that they can live the lives that we all deserve to live. Like,
it's a fucking deep meaning to that statement, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, because a lot of people don't think that way. It's just, it's unfortunate, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I've thought of it. I mean, you're fucking shining some light you're shining light in some dark places that has never been brought up in a conversation. No, don't be fucking sorry, dude. This is what it's all about, man. This is about sharing experiences and shining light on things that maybe people don't want to fucking talk about. You know what I mean? That's the point of the whole
It's not an easy conversation.
Yeah, it's not an easy conversation, bro. Nobody wants to talk about finances and fucking how they run their business, but everybody has a fucking story. You got hit with the self-employment tax. My first time being in business, I got hit with the $12,000 self-employment tax because I didn't incorporate. I fucked up.
That's brutal,
that's a tough fucking pill to swallow when, you work your ass off all year, you make some money, you pay your rent, you put food on the table for your family, and then the government's like, yeah, we'll take 12 grand.
Oh, trust me, with the quickness.
Yeah, dude, and they don't give a fuck. Okay, so, your payment plan's gonna be next week's first payment, $3,000. 2 weeks from that, another $3,000. Like, they don't give a shit, dude. They will not go away. Like, if there's anybody that you don't want on your ass, it's the fucking IRS. Like, just.
Yeah, death and taxes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
100%. Pay your $500 for the year to get incorporated. Figure out what works for you. LLC, S Corp, or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
And fucking put yourself in a different tax bracket, be able to write off more, reap the benefits of that. You're paying $500, but you could save thousands at the end of the year. It's so worth it.
Yeah, certainly. You have to educate yourself.
Right.
Education is, what's our guy say? Never stop learning, right?
Right. Right.
Well, it's not just about stretching this shit or getting that perfect gray.
Yep. It's all about everything else in between the lines. You got to watch out for. Sir. That's just crazy, man. And to think that you kind of had a good backer with your dad and your uncle running a business. Most likely they had everything right, ready to go. You probably had some guidance to what to do and maybe what not to do. Some of us have worked in shops and it's like, fuck, I'm never doing that. I learned off of his dime this time, but I'm not going to take that hit myself. You know what I mean? So, I mean, learn from it. Learn from these little things, these little conversations, take away a little bit and legitimize because you don't want to be put in that position already and learn the hard way when this information is here. It's free. Fucking all you gotta do is listen and just take advantage of it.
It's real. One of my biggest things is trying to learn from other folks' mistakes.
Yeah.
Something that gets lost on a lot. Like, you need to kind of go through it yourself. There's some folks that are just like that, but it's just as much power learning what not to do in a sense, or however you want to word that.
Yeah.
But, you see somebody struggle, man, don't go down that same road. Christ. Listen. Just listen sometimes. It's a tough thing to do today.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like advice is everywhere. And there's always little things that come up. You know, you see George go right, fucking go left. You know what I mean? You've seen him go right so many times. There's nothing good over there. Why? Why are you going to go? Because he's going?
Yeah.
You know, build your own path. You know what I mean?
100.
Yeah.
You have to. You got to be creative with it. And as it always circles back, you know, folks struggle with the competition and just getting their thing moving. That's probably at the core of it all, is just, you know, innovating in your own little way. Whatever it is that you're going to do, this could have set you apart.
No.
And once you get it, you can't really stop there. I don't know. It's always moving.
Yeah. Gotta push through push through those doors and open up new ones. And it's no matter what, life's always going to fucking throw you a curveball. It's just how you're going to deal with it. That's the way I look at it. You know, no matter what, life's thrown me so many fucking curveballs. Yeah.
I believe you.
You know what I mean? It's fucking whatever. Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's just another 24 hours. Let's make it better tomorrow, you know?
Yeah.
That's how I look
I
at
got
it.
another friend, he always says it's a good day to be alive, you know?
Yep.
No matter what's going on, there's, I don't know, perspective and all that.
Right.
It's important to keep you moving.
Yep. There's always another poor bastard out there that's got it worse than you.
Oh, trust me.
You know what I mean?
I'm telling you that the well I draw from is, man, I just think back to that roof, man. Like there's a Dunkin' Donuts commercial somewhere where they're drinking coffee and they look up and the sun is like an inch and a half from their friggin' face. It was pretty popular a couple of years ago, but that one always cracked me up because it resonated with me, man. I was there.
It's a fucking meaning behind it.
Yeah, for sure. It could keep you happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got it pretty good in our industry, honestly, and it ties into creation, artistic expression, and like, you know, there's people that dream about that, you know, in the same way that they talk about wanting to be rock stars, but rock stars don't have a tangible way to make a living like we do, tied to this stuff. And I wish I had that talent kind of on the artistic side, because you start, that's really the way for me, man, is these guys that are doing what they're doing with the graphics is out of control. And they got 3D modeling involved, and they're able to make it hit in all these different kinds of ways. I mean, it's real art, and it's just on a medium that people don't consider. And as far as price points, I mean, Art Basel was just going on down here, and I was walking through seeing, you grab some used cardboard and put some paper mache, and it's a known artist because they have this many followers that they bought or whatever, and that piece is going for 10 grand, man. You know?
That's art.
There was like yeah, there was some coffee machine or something. Somebody took some white out and like just wrote whatever, some catchphrases down there. The thing was $1,800 because it's art. Well, you know, this, the stuff that our industry puts out, that's high art. Right. And, the pushback we get, I mean, I understand it, but I gotta believe that at some point in the future, that disconnect will be bridged, and like the respect for what goes into it and making sure people get what they need to get out of it, from a business standpoint. I gotta believe it's coming. I gotta believe.
You know, you bring up a really good topic, and honestly, I think, you know, another Florida relative, you know, Bruno from Metro, he's fucking closing in that gap, man. I feel like every time I see something on his Instagram stories or whatnot, like, he's always bringing another artist in, another person, and they're either doing graffiti on a car or, you know, but it's not like it's never like a car, like a fucking Honda. We're talking like a Rolls Royce, a fucking Lambo, a Ferrari. Like, that guy's found a way to merge the rap industry with these artists, whether it be graffiti, paint, marker, whatever, and like open up another medium for them to do their art and to be able to preserve it and apply it to these vehicles or these walls or these murals, whatever the case may be. I feel like he's doing some really cool shit. Like, I just got to put that out there. Like,
he's been on that train for a minute, and it's the perfect thing for our area because we're very, art centric here. The graffiti scene, obviously, and
right,
just all the murals that go on down there. And he's been in it for a minute. And me and Bruno, we know each other pretty damn good. And we go back almost to the first year that I was rapping, and it speaks a lot to the effort you put into, your image, brand recognition and all that, and just being on social and just making sure that he's seen with all these moves, regardless of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Truly there, and they're the powerhouse here, I would have to say.
That's just amazing. So you've actually got to work with Bruno back in the day?
It's funny, man. That's what I mean about what I do is by nature, it's like I'm a ghost, So
people know
when
you, but they don't.
I'm going back 9 years and I've done some really big stuff.
That's amazing, dude.
On his behalf, and
it's humbling, bro. It's, I've heard this, I've heard this from Hanir. I've heard it from, David. I've heard it from Dan. You're just a humble dude, man. You just like to just get your work done, go in, get out, be done. Like, just, all right, on to the next, guys. Like, just.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if it's true or not, but I feel like it might have gotten me some work just in the sense of, I try and remove the competition aspect from it because so many cats, and I'm sure that's why a lot of shops are hesitant maybe to use mobile guys because you go to a job and then suddenly that card is coming out,
mm-hmm.
Or their car is like plastered with all their contact info. It's ugly how that goes down and maintaining that. I'm losing the word kind of, but it's a form of professionalism. Whenever I did something for Metro, and I feel like it's been enough years now where I could say I've done stuff for them, I would go in and I had a Metro shirt or something. And
mm-hmm.
if I was by myself, I would introduce myself as TJ from Metro because that's how I move. And when I was done and I had a picture, it was for invoicing purposes because I know that Metro wants to let the world know that they did that job.
Right.
And they did, in a sense, whatever their means were. That's their business. And, I like to think there's value in it. I guess time will tell. Cause it's not easy moving that way for sure. Anything that's come up has usually been word of mouth or somehow tied to like whatever education I've had in this industry or something to that end. But, it's not really out there with a lot of that stuff. And that's really mainly the reason why.
The silent type of person. But it's, like you said, it's like a respect thing where you know enough that, walking into a shop with your own gear, with your vehicle completely wrapped with your company outside, a client might show up, got your truck outside, you wearing your shirt, they're gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, this guy called another guy to come do the job? It gets weird.
Yeah, it gets a little ugly, for sure.
Yeah. And I think that plays, at the end of the day, you pay taxes. At the end of the day, you have, write-offs. You have this, you have that. And you structure yourself so well business-wise, but yet you're, like you said, you're like a ghost. Like, you show up, nothing on your truck. If you have a shirt from that company, you wear that shirt there to work that day.
Yeah.
It's
my company shirt too. It doesn't have any identifiers. I just love my logo. My torch with the wings is like the hardest thing ever. Thank you, Chris, for drawing that. And that's my shirt. My last truck, I had an all chrome F-150 before this version I have now. And I left it just completely blank for a while, and then I decided to do like a white aluminum over the top of it that was like a ghost, but instead of a matte black, gloss black ghost, it was like a silver version. It's hard to see and this and that. And then in this last version of my truck, I have it across the windshield, kind of for the first time. That's the most I've ever done. And so far, nothing really from it. I feel like I've kind of earned the right to at least identify in that small way. And it just ties together with the truck anyway. I love this one. This last one I did on my F-150 is money. I wish I got to do more work like this, freehand, everything, and just, it was cool. It's cool when you get to run.
You like the more customization stuff than the regular go in, blow it out, get out type of thing?
They're all rewarding in their own way. I mean, the custom side, the creation side, it lets you shine. It lets you believe that you're an artist, you know, for whatever amount of time. And, you know, a lot of the other work is kind of just what keeps us moving.
Right.
In the other sense, I mean, that's the bigger jobs are the ones I chase. I remember talking to somebody recently and we were talking about like the rap game, the industry, almost like, chasing the dragon. Like doing heroin, man, because you're out here and it's like, oh, this industry and oh, it looks pretty cool. And you wind up on a job that you got through decently and you made some good money and you're high now.
Yep.
And you want more, but then you get a removal.
Yeah.
Then you get the 10,000 rivets and you're like, why did I ever do this? Where did I go wrong in life? And then right at the edge, you get another hit.
Yep. It's fucked
and
up.
And you keep it moving. Yeah, it's terrible, dude, but it's real.
It is real.
It resonated with me.
Oh shit, it's so real. It's like you get a good little gig going and then you fall into a lull and then you get one more gig. You're like, fuck, yeah, that's what I was craving for, you know?
But you definitely, you try and position yourself to get them. I mean, Dan made me promise that I would somehow find a way to bring it up, I guess. So like my claim to fame, if you will, or the biggest job that I did was these towers for FPL.
FPL?
Man,
what's that?
FPL is our power company. So it's Florida Power and Light. They're the only electric company and they're the ones. So they have this new energy facility out here in West Palm on like Riviera Beach and it's on the river. There's these rich folks across the other side that say they don't like looking at concrete, and build, and it's just ugly, and they didn't pay millions of dollars upon millions of dollars upon millions to live there and look at this. So they decided to wrap these 3 diesel towers, and 70 feet tall, 300 feet wide.
Jesus.
My man. It was crazy, dude, because it's in an energy plant. You have like live wires that you hear the electricity. You feel it in your body on the floor,
Ugh.
And they have to shut off certain, like I needed to go between those wires to get parts of this done. There were metal staircases and like piping for gas lines that went up and down that needed to be fitted in and dealt with 70-foot tall, actually over that because of the way that it went, single vertical panels. And not to mention the way that, like, you run into struggles and how you deal with it. That's kind of what sets us apart. From an installer standpoint, it was challenging.
To say the least.
In the sense that the panels overlaps ranged anywhere from, let's say, just under a half an inch to like 2-something inches because of the way that the files rip.
Wow.
And dealing with panels that large, you might not see even a single line of color for like a lineup or matchup for 10, 15 feet.
Jesus Christ.
So we were out there on like 110 foot articulating boom lifts, on uneven, there was like grass hills that led up to it. So you had to be on an uneven surface and figure out a way to like anchor the damn thing so you can move around.
Yeah, cause you can only
those stairs.
You can only go so far with the booms,
Yeah.
from where the
yeah,
truck
even though
is.
it's 110 and it's 70 tall, you have to consider your angles,
Right.
your point of entry, and the thing was 300 something feet wide around, so that it had all type of different instruction. The last one was like right up against the water. I got way too close to potentially going into that with the lift, which is just, the whole thing was wild. But I bring it up to say that at that time, my partner and a prospective partner and a helper, with the help of some of my network for 5,000 of the however many tens of thousands of squares, got it done in 3 weeks.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And
3-week project. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And then
it was major though. It had to be over 50,000 squares or something just ignorant.
That's just, yeah. How do you even profile something like that? Like, what was the whole design? Like, what did it have?
So it was and it's even still up today, actually, after all these years, which is wild, but it probably needs to be redone at some point.
You think they're gonna call you? Hey, we need this removed.
But again, it's all about the people I did the work with.
Yeah.
Because once again, I'm a ghost. I was there on behalf of someone else.
Wow.
And even though I made sure to be able to, I use pictures of it and I talk about it to this day, and deservedly so. That was all agreed for because of what we went through to get it done.
Yeah.
And we worked together to get it done. But that's what's up. There's power in those jobs. They're out there, and a lot of folks don't even realize, even still, I hear you say on a lot of these shows that the industry is still young, and it's hard to say that to people that have been doing it for some decades. But in that sense, it really is young. Like I still have so many conversations where people just don't realize, man, you could put that on, whatever, my table, this thing, my car, like I'm telling you, if it's a surface, I'm waiting for somebody to wrap a baby. Like it's probably going to be Kevin from PG Nola's like, yo, first in the country, I wrapped this live child.
Yeah.
Like Hexus, what's good? No seams. I'm just going to quit. Like,
oh shit. Yo, did you see, I fucking died laughing. The photo of Carl Brewer with the fucking, like the wrap glove sock things he had on. Did you see that on Facebook?
No.
Dude.
I don't have a Facebook, unfortunately.
Oh, you don't? Oh,
no.
Man. Dude, I'll have to send you this picture. Dude, it's hilarious. Like, he's literally, it looks like he's got wrap gloves on his toes, like each individual.
No.
Dude.
The individual toe glove?
Yes, dude.
Game over, boys. Pack it up.
Done, bro. Done.
That's 10 individual squeegees off rip, all the recesses.
Everything. Fucking, you think he was fast with two hands? Fucking game over.
Yeah, that's nightmare fuel, actually, man. I'm trying to get quicker, and these guys are out here just playing against the rules.
Yeah, dude. No holds barred. You know what I mean?
That's pretty money, though. I definitely need to see that picture.
Yeah, I'll send it over, dude. I almost fell out of my seat. I'm like, that can't be true. That can't be true. It just can't do that. But hey, when there's a will, there's a way. At the end of the day, and you know what? I can see laying some floor graphics with those on. You know what I mean?
It makes a lot of sense.
Doesn't it?
Damn, you just.
See, we're coming up with
the homie is Miyagi. We're like, I'm personally real big into the kung fu. That's a huge part of my life and all that. When you learn in kung fu, you're supposed to do C steps, so like half moon kind of strokes. You could go down the whole. I'm doing it right now in my office. You could go down the whole damn floor and do this.
Really?
You're onto something. Yes, sir. And it's like a Zen movement. It's wax on, wax off, kind of the same pattern.
Wow.
Get overlapping strokes, you're good to go.
Wow. What nationality are you, bro?
We're all related, Jeff.
We're all related. We're all related.
I'm a man of the people.
That's gotta be the fucking best answer I fucking have ever gotten ever in my life. That's fucking.
I'm glad to take that mantle, man.
Oh,
I really believe it, though.
Shit, dude. That is fucking awesome. My man of the people. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, this place, it's always been my home. It's a big melting pot. And I don't know. I identify with everybody in that sense. My best friend was like Hindi. You know, my good friend now is Jamaican. My wife, her family is from Trinidad and Puerto Rico. And I don't know, man. I really believe it. I believe that we're all just one human race.
Yeah. Cut from the same cloth.
Yes, sir, man. And you gotta watch out because people are messing with my brothers and sisters and starting to get upset. So.
Yep.
You gotta do something.
See, it takes a special human being like you, okay, to, you know, just look at life differently. You know what I mean? Like, the way, I think you simplify a lot, but you're very articulate with your answers in your more or less mannerisms, or like the way you present yourself. Like, I can't physically see you, right? But for some reason, I see you. You know what I mean? As fucked up as that sounds, you're like, I can kind of see like what you're doing without seeing what you're doing. And it's I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I've only had these types of things with certain people that, like, I just feel like the connection, you know what I mean? Not to sound weird or fucking, you know, go down that path, but like, just like that connection, you know what I mean? I just feel like I'm part of the fucking crew, you know what I mean? Like, I understand you guys. Like, I get it, you know?
That's what's up, man, because we're gonna need that in the future, man. I'm telling you that whatever it's been to this point, it's been good, and we're all here. But that crew that you mentioned and all that, and not even speaking for them, for myself, I'm not resting on my heels. So, you know, we're gonna be attacking it, and we need people on the same page, man.
Yeah, yeah. I've always said, you know, we're always stronger together. You know, you get one weak link, then that separates everybody. You know.
Yeah, that's probably the hardest part of it.
For sure.
Actually, when, you know, the bigger you go, it's keeping everybody on the level and just, you know, you had said something earlier in the company that called their guys rap technicians.
Yeah. Ellie, Charlie.
There's real thought behind that. That first company that I worked for on the book, Spread of Life, they got bought out by Whole Foods. Whole Foods does this thing where they don't have like managers and stuff. They have team leaders and members. And like just certain ways that they word their stuff, being a Fortune 500 company and some of the other ones, like best places to work for. That's common through all of them. And I think it ties into just, you know, it does take a village, right? But everybody kind of wants to be their own village.
Right.
And you only go so far that way. So if you're going to fly under one banner, like you need to have some people that believe in what you're doing, and they're going to believe it because it's true. And that's part of it right there is getting rid of the separation kind of between us. We're all out here and we're all heading to, you know, we all have similar goals. We could go there together, or we could go there kind of against each other. So fostering that is huge. And that's a big part of hopefully what happens in any network that I'm tied to.
For sure.
You know, that's something that happens. We're trying to foster that attitude and trying to, for lack of better words, I don't know.
Well,
rise up a bit.
That's it, dude. And it's almost taken a page out of, you know, like way back in the day, like probably like medieval times. Like, it's funny listening to you say this now. I've been watching a show on Netflix called The Last Kingdom, and it's about like an old Viking that was, you know, father got killed in war, and the people who won took him captive as a as kind of like a grunt. You know what I mean? They just took him, and he ended up taking him as his own son. Ended up working for a different tribe. It goes tribe to tribe. You know what I mean?
Damn.
And then, you know, that guy gets killed, and it ends up becoming, you know, his real son's brother, for lack of better words. But he ends up going rogue. You know what I mean? And it causes chaos. And what ends up happening is that he ends up working with all these different tribes to help them gain wealth. You know what I mean? But he never sticks to one tribe. He always kind of travels around, and I feel like it's almost taking a page out of that, where if we all just grouped together instead of being, you know, competition, for lack of a better word, to each other, and just going after each other, you don't get anywhere. Yes, one of them will win. Fine. But what does that do at the end of the day? That does more damage internally, industry-wise, than good. You know, if we just came together, hashed it out together, and figured it out. And back then, prior to them even going to war, they would get together and talk about a compromise. We'll give you this if we don't go to war. Do you accept? If you don't accept, then we fucking hash it out. Swords and fucking shields, you know?
Yeah. But it takes concessions to keep the peace.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's probably why it doesn't happen more often in business, because that involves somebody potentially, you know, swallowing pride, ego, some version of something. And, you know, it's a good idea. It's just putting it together. Certainly, it's one of those problems, you know, working for a solution towards. And, you know, it's just, you got to buy into that system. That Viking that's traveling, he's a lot like these kung fu flicks. It's the masterless samurai, the Ronin.
Yep.
You know, his master died, but that's it. He's out here and he knows how to kill. And that's all he's doing because he doesn't have the master or somebody that he, you know, doesn't respect enough to serve, if you will.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. It's weird. A lot of us in business, if you have your own business, you probably had your fill of that and you're going your own way. But, damn, there's so many things that run it against each other's heads. It's like you got to be in it for yourself, but you also believe that you need people to work for you for $10 to $15 an hour so that you can do your thing, because nobody's going to pay you that amount to keep it moving.
Right.
And then you're just contributing to this cycle, you know. It's easier said than done because there's only so much money to go around. And learning about all those finances and being the ones that runs my books, it's great to talk about that, but these 6.5 years later, I haven't necessarily proven my mission statement. Greater minds that are around me that I try and listen to, successful people that talk about the ways that they got where they're going. They have common things, and it's certainly not making sure their employees are paid well. No, that's never on the list at all. It's multiple income sources. It's
freedom.
Taking 50% off of the top that anything comes through that goes back into your company.
Yeah, it's freedom. I think it's freedom. I think if anybody that's a business owner, if you're not thinking of freedom all the time, you're a bullshitter. For real. I always thought of freedom. Fuck, I'm gonna run my own business and I'm gonna have all the time in the world. Well, guess what? Was that a fucking eye opener?
Oh my God. Yeah, they don't teach you that one, huh?
Dude.
But if you listen close enough, one of the older heads or two might have said something to that line. But we just, at certain times in our life, it's hard for us to hear these messages.
Yeah. Yeah. First one in, last one out. That's the way it rolled. And you know what? It changed after a while when I realized, like, okay, maybe that is just a not realistic way of thinking. It ain't going to happen because you really have to have your capital together and finances and all your insurances to have employees to help run. Yeah. You can't do it alone. No fucking way. I just had this conversation today with my boss. And we even thought, you know, can you get away with being a wrap shop, a one guy? Sure. You gonna work like an asshole? Absolutely. Can you make it work with 3 or 4 people? Way better? Yes. You know, but can you feed 4 people every day, 5 days a week? You know,
that's really one of the biggest hurdles. And it's honestly, that was another contributing factor to why I made my business the way it is. It kind of comes as a selling point naturally with a lot of these folks because the overhead of keeping them on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Per job, it's less, but the days in between where like the production isn't there, I do believe in a bit of subcontractor involvement, obviously, because that's what I do.
Right.
And, it's a fine walk. There's a place for both, but, there's a big place for me, and that's why I've been able to do it this whole time. And it works for a lot of folks. It might cost more per job, but then the rest of the week when you're able to do what you have to do, and you didn't spend the whole week mucking around with this like you would have done on your own, that's a win-win.
Absolutely. I think there's a bigger thing out there when you can feel pride in knowing that you can provide for other people. Just like you had mentioned, you know, when you wanted to be a chef and, you know, you wanted to make sure that everybody had a hot meal. It's kind of the same aspect when you have an employee. It's like you have to make sure he puts food on his table too. And when you're when you're down and out for that day or 2 days because of, you know, whatever, a project fell through the cracks or something happened, and, you know, you got to have a heart for that. It's like you almost become selfish to yourself because it's like, okay, it's not about me. Fucking, you know, TJ's got to eat too. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fucking him up just as much as I'm screwing up my day. It's, you know, it's not a good feeling.
Yeah, you're a rare breed in that sense though, because there's not necessarily a lot of people that would think in those terms. So.
But man, I feel like if I ever committed to having a full-time employee, that would be constantly on my mind. Like, I have, you know, whether it's fucking, you know, fucking sweep the floor and mop it, you know what I mean? Get a couple hours in. I'll pay you for the couple hours. It might not be rapping, but I'd rather have you here than not here, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like, it's messed up, but I think it all equals out later because then you get, you know, you get that fucking itch again, that little extra hit, you know what I mean? Oh fuck.
Yeah, that you got to go out here and hustle for it for sure, man.
Yep.
You have to feed the beast.
Right.
And I've certainly been down that road a lot, and I'm like you, so I would take the hit. And you know, the hard truth of a situation like that is if you don't turn the tables on it, it'll start to eat your business, and then nobody's eating. So,
right.
It's definitely hard. It's hard to walk the line between, for me at least, my mission statement and the reality of our business.
Mm-hmm. But it's amazing,
we'll
dude.
See where that goes.
Yeah, it's amazing. You've done great things and worked with a bunch of great people and set yourself up really well with your kind of internal network. You know what I mean? I think you kind of almost based it off of that, you know, networking. You started with this group of guys and you kind of almost kept that. You built a new group of guys and you're kind of keeping that trend going. You know, everyone feeds each other and helps each other out. And I love that, dude. It's just, you know, like I said earlier, you don't really see a lot of that very often, you know. Maybe in the background, you know, it happens more than it does, but it's nice to see that, you know, I can physically see that you guys are just great group of guys that I feel like after a long day's work, you guys go out, grab a beer, fucking say you guys slayed the day and fucking on till tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. And it comes together naturally, and there's more of that every day. The last, I think, right at the end of October, I did one of the certs I've been waiting on for a long time is the architecture, the DINOC.
Nice.
And everybody in my class, you know, we're all in that circle right now too. They're all doing the same things in their own parts of the country and here. And you get to see firsthand what it is. It's the same way I met Dan from Loud Raps, who's the preferred installer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and all these years later, we're rocking. And, you know, if you're out there and you do work on the road and you get to meet all these folks and your eyes are open and you lead by the way that you want it to be, it's not so hard. Really. It's just what you do with your opportunity.
Yeah.
That's what the future is all about right now.
It's amazing, dude. So what other certs? So you have the 3M preferred,
I have 3M's preferred and their architectural DINOC now. I'm a PDAA master certified installer. I had to go to Washington State for that one some years ago.
Wow, master, dude. That sounds fucking...
Yeah, I had to emphasize that, you know, because I can never say it on my own, but if they want to say it, that's fine. You know what I mean?
Master. Yeah, fuck, right. Dude. What's up?
That was actually a really cool one because when I went out there, it was maybe the first year of my business, man. But
wow.
I got to meet Rob Ivers, who's like an OG in this little industry of ours, and a fellow named Kim McGraw, who's also been at it for so long. I mean, these are just heavy hitter guys, and I got to sit with Rob Ivers. I think he's like the president of that little group, him and Dan Marks or something. He's a big part of whatever he's into. Mm-hmm. But he was telling me about his early days, what it took to get in, and any of these places I've been, it's just that network kind of grows. Actually, damn, that's a perfect example, is that trip. I met them, we talked, I showed them what I was about. I scored highly in the group. I'm from 3,500 miles away. They hit me up for a bunch of big work, but one of the more notable ones was Boeing. And I seen recently somebody is doing that exact project in Cali right now, I think. They have these $22 million flight simulators that like replicate 747s. You go inside it and the whole screen is like panoramic. All the buttons are there. It's hydraulic and it's fucking insane.
What?
And they're shaped like toilet bowls or something. It's like the weirdest damn shape ever. And, you know, that all came about from me going there, doing the cert, meeting them, and just, you know, being about your craft, being yourself, and hopefully they resonate with that.
Wow.
You know, that job was really intense, man. You know, to do that, we did 4 of them, and if you combine the money between them, I mean, you're approaching $100 million worth of fucking substrate that you just laid vinyl on. It's like, well, goddamn.
Mind
yeah,
blowing.
And it's Boeing, and it's crazy, and like, maybe it's a little much, but that project always blew my mind because when we got there, it was a subtle gradient, kind of stroke, and some blues would break away from each other and go to the back, but it was abstract. And so we start paneling it up, and it's way too long. I mean, like, panels long, and it just is not making sense in any kind of way. So this job lead, my customer, comes through and he looks at we all get the paper schematics, the proof of how the job's supposed to look. He folds it up like an accordion. And he starts playing with the creases. And what he was doing was trying to fold the proof in a way where if he hid portions, the lines would hit again. You know what I mean?
Holy shit.
So he does this, and it's like, let's say it's panels 1 through 12. The way he folded it, he's like, okay, halfway through 2 to 5, get rid of it. And then 8, get rid of that. And then like 10, get rid of that. Because on this paper, it looks like they should line up. And then he takes panel 2 and he cuts it in half freehand.
What the fuck?
And well, you obviously believe, you know, you've been around, and you know, it worked somehow. Like I can't even tell you.
You cannot,
but it worked, man.
You cannot make that shit up. Like that if there's a fucking MacGyver of the rap industry out there, it's fucking that guy.
Well, he was an OG, and that's, you know, as much as we want to be about the perfection and stuff, there's a lot of make it work and get it done. And there's a little bit of an art to that too, even as wild as it sounded to what he did, you know, having the cojones to go ahead and believe in that, having been through it, we did. And it's a challenging job. I'm sure the guys, I forget if it was maybe Rap Space or something, but they were into it. And it's rapping a shape like that with joining vertical panels is interesting because it's, if you look at it in the sense of like an ice cream cone, because it gets narrow at the bottom,
right?
You know, and wide at the top. So when you put your panel down, it's like curving out, but then you have an image to line up, and it's printed in a sense where it's like an inch overlap, but you could start to see the problem as that curve goes. You're almost like turning degrees to like a 90.
Right. So now you're adding. It almost looks like you're adding media. It's like,
oh yeah, at the bottom they would grow 2 feet worth of overlap if you did it that way, and then they wouldn't join. So some kind of training or whatever you've been through can possibly prepare you for something like that.
I'm quiet because I'm thinking of it and visually seeing it, and I'm just like,
yeah, it's
like, what do you say?
It's one thing, like you do shapes and we do colors on them and stuff like that, but there's been a couple of instances. Marlins Park was another with these columns that were shaped quite literally like ice cream cones, but they had verbiage and joinage, and it's just natural. If you level it completely, your bottoms might wrap around all the way to the back.
Right.
And that's part of the art form too. That's an unspoken art form in our industry, is being able to intelligently make that kind of stuff work. Because there's no way you could sit there and say, listen, the designer needs to 3-dimensionally figure out the grade of all these curves throughout this entire surface and do something to where we can just lay it down. Like it's just not happening.
No, it's too much math involved. Way too much
but
math.
Then, I mean, you're the on-site math, and then you can take that in a couple of ways. That's something that might set you apart. I feel like it's something that sets me apart. You can easily just, oh, this looks kind of like this color. Bang, you see the unintended abstract camo, maybe in a situation like that. But knowing restrictions, knowing what you can do, knowing your surface and how just shapes run and how your eye takes in some of this stuff. Yeah. Natural body breaks, abilities to reset entirely what you're doing. There's not a lot of instruction that really touches on that stuff. I don't know if there ever will be.
No, I don't think there's any class that could particularly have you set up for a scenario like that at any given time. Cause I mean, since you've done that, other than maybe the columns, in 6 years, I mean, you've done 2 crazy scenarios that, you know, in the 12 years I've kind of been doing it. I've never walked into any of that ever. Like, I'll probably never see it, to be honest with you, but like,
no, there's a good chance. And that's just getting the experience is one thing. I think a leg up that folks like me might have is just, if you're in a sign shop a lot, you have different tasks, and just installing every day in this time. Like I'm coming up on 10 years, and that's 10 years of every single day installing something. And then when the busy season hits, it's day and night. Right. I mean, dude, I don't know. You wind up touching a lot of stuff, and there's always, I still get surprised, man. It's just wild how it goes down.
For sure. When's your kind of slow season or your slow downtime? Is it like kind of around now?
It's funny because a lot of the people that I talk to say that the end of the year kind of goes for them, but December historically is one of my busiest months.
Wow.
And I think it's just because I touch a lot of different areas, so it kind of shifts more to a commercial sense during this time. There's all these companies, which I've gotten to learn from my CPAs, have their own budgets, and the fourth quarter of the year, they need to spend things like their marketing budget. If they're allotted 60,000 and they only spent 40, next year they're only getting 40.
Right.
So if they spent 40 to date, suddenly December 1st, they're looking to spend $20,000 to keep that number up.
Yes.
And everybody wants what you'll start seeing, like Coca-Cola and Budweiser and fucking all these stores, and like,
just getting.
I mean, it's a hell of a run, man. And I'm lucky to be a part of that.
Do you ever tell them, hey, I'll take your payment now, we'll do it after the new year? You know what I mean?
I've never said anything like that, but it's come up. It's certainly come up from a couple of savvy people.
Hell
and
yeah.
I try and pay attention when things like that happen, because they're doing it for a reason, and that's the stuff that doesn't get talked about. There's truth in that. If you have money, it's another thing I've learned along the way. If you have money in your company coffers at the end of the year, that counts against you, you know?
It does. We get screwed because we're taking that hit towards the end of the year. But,
yeah, and all you're doing is try and reinvest essentially in your company. You're keeping it there to float all your bills. You don't want to like drain it to zero and try and like figure out payroll on the 7th of January. But they kill you for that, for being on top of your stuff.
Yeah.
And the richer, the elite classes, those are some of their ways around it. They liquefy it or they put it in different areas.
Right.
Start to bring it back. And these are patterns. The thing we could learn from, it relates to us touching the advertising and the marketing,
right.
Just being aware of certain things like that. You know, if you play your cards right, every part of the year has something for you.
Absolutely. I always thought like come December was always my slowest year when I had started. But after building a brand like you, December ended up being my biggest turnover in clientele. It's just spiked so quickly. And you know, we lose almost a week and a half of work in December because of Christmas and time off, and then New Year's is like literally the week after, and you don't have your 24 days or whatever, 21 days for that month. You literally have like maybe 15 or 12 days out of the whole month to like crank out so much work to help these clients out. And that was always an alternative for me, was just like, listen, I'll write you up an invoice, pay the bill. I'll hold it in my separate bank account for after the new year, so it doesn't hold against me now. And we'll put it in we'll add it to next year's budget, you know? And it was just a way of getting out of not fucking me time wise.
It's a mad dash.
Dude, you know just as well as I know, bro. There's no fucking holidays for us. There's no paid holidays for us.
I was going to say something to that end. Like, a lot of times they want it all through the holidays and everything anyway. And folks need to find the time for their loved ones too.
100%.
Listening to the older heads and the successful ones, that's always something that comes up. I don't really know the answer to that when you need the money to keep the roof up, but universally, I mean, it's finding time for the people you care about. All this work and all this shit that happens. I don't know.
Being a business
really
owner,
mean much.
Being a business owner is a blessing and a curse at the same time, because you're raising another child, so to say, in some way, some form, and you always have to keep feeding it and taking care of it and fucking answering the phone and doing this and doing that when you're fucking home on the couch having a fucking, Netflix and chill moment, and your fucking phone rings because it's your fucking asshole client calling you at 8:00 at night that's so fucking impatient that he can't wait till the next fucking morning to call you. Dude, come on.
That sounds personal, Jeff.
Right? Dude, I could fucking rip on that shit, bro. Like, where is the fucking lack of fucking professionalism here? Like, because I run my own business, bro, and it's fucking half our faults. We give our personal cell phone numbers to these fucking clients because, you know, we all become friends and you think, okay, you might call me on a fucking weekend or whatever for Monday. Oh, I need this crazy project. All right, cool, John. I'll get to it. He fucking calls you on a Friday night and you know you're not working tomorrow and fucking, what do you do? The phone's ringing. What do you do? What are you gonna do? Your wife's giving you the fucking eyeball.
I was just seeing her in my eye, actually, like right now, her just staring at me because that phone is ringing.
You know.
I love you, Sonia, if you're listening.
You know, bro. You know. It's like, what do you take the call and then fucking deal with the aftermath at home? Or do you fucking let it ring and continue on with your fucking night? It's fucking.
The answer is yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking another good answer. The answer is yes. Just keep that fucking shit open. Yes.
Man.
Dude, I did that for many years and fucking too many times and I fucking got dealt cards. You know what I mean? And it sucks, but it's the fucking way the cookie crumbles. You know?
I know that.
You know? It's fucking, sometimes it's the death of us. You know?
I get the sense that you're ready to come back home to the industry full time, Jeff.
But dude, I'm
all these stories.
I'm already there, bro. I'm fucking shaking and moving, dude. You know?
Yeah.
Shaking and moving. I got more to offer than the shit I fucking did before. And I'm gonna fucking do it a gentleman now, dude. And do it right. And fucking.
You offer installs in South Florida. I don't know if you realize you have a few locations.
Yeah, dude. See? Yeah. See? Networking. Networking, bro.
That's right.
It's fucking what it's all about. It's just, it's reality, man. And anybody fucking listening, if you haven't dealt with it yet, fucking, you'll remember this conversation when your fucking phone's ringing and you're looking at your wife. And then you're looking at your phone, then you're looking at your wife, then you're looking at your phone.
Make her happy, man. Just
dude,
call him in the bathroom.
Fucking John can wait till tomorrow. You know, he's not he's not calling you because he's dying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
as shitty as it sounds. I mean,
yeah, it's fucking.
Damn, we're there, but there's a lot of folks that get overworked, they get burned out.
Yes.
Everything suffers for it, and I mean. Just creating those kind of clear-cut divisions. That's part of you going in the right direction. And if it's hurting, that means you're definitely going in the right direction.
Yeah, it ain't easy.
You feel like you're leaving it there, but that's, I try and tell some of my peers, like, as it starts to get shitty and you're questioning everything that's going on, if you're a business owner, you're your boss. You don't have anybody to blame but you. When you start worrying, man, these clients they're doing this to me, or the cancellations or the no-shows or just the way that it's going down for you. It's a simplistic way of saying it, and I know there's more involved, but ultimately it's on us, man.
Right.
And that's tough.
Yep.
That's tough to swallow, man, because it might mean whatever. It might mean losing all kinds of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But where do you stand? How much do you believe in yourself? If you don't believe in yourself much, then you're the type of person that will just take whatever's there.
Right.
And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that either. It's called paying your dues. Mm-hmm. There's too much stigma in all of this. Like, when I went to school for chefing, one of the things I picked up from them in traditional French kitchens, if you wanted to cook, you wash dishes for 1 year.
Yep.
And just, you're around it. You pay your damn dues, man. You know, you see what's going on. You help in it in whatever time you can. You show that you're about it. That's, you could tell the ones that have been through it and the ones that haven't. The ones that maybe worked at a shop for under a year and felt like they could go on their own. Or even, sometimes time doesn't have anything to do with it. There's folks that have been rapping for a year that have just beat our asses combined.
That just get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. You know, going back when I started, man, I didn't touch vinyl unless I was weeding it out and taping it. I did that for months, bro. months. I didn't touch a car. I didn't do shit. I literally took the vinyl off the fucking cutter and put it on the table and weeded whatever was fucking getting cut that day. Like a fucking machine. Is it
therapeutic for you, or do you hate it? There's only two kinds of people.
Fucking hate it, dude. Hate it.
Damn.
But did I do it? Fuck yeah, because I knew there was a light at the end of the tunnel. I knew if I could get through doing that, I think I could have, I could do better. You know what I mean? And I fucking did. Somebody took my spot. Some sucker came in. Oh, you want to learn? Fucking. But Jeff, you just got fucking promoted. You know what I mean?
Nice.
It's fucking as easy as that. It's just like you said, you go old school way, you fucking wash dishes. Old school way, you draw lotus flowers. You want a tattoo? You draw lotus flowers for fucking a year. That's all you draw. You draw me a fucking flower every day for fucking 6 hours. That's what you do.
That's the old way of thinking, but there was, there might have been something there.
More behind it.
As you said that, it reminded me of my father, man, because we all play music too. And he's funny. That's a funny guy right there. I wanted to pick up guitar like all them played. He's like, okay, you make chords in the air for 3 months before you can touch a guitar. And I think it was a Seinfeld episode or something. They're like the bear claw like this, the G chord and everything. And that's how I did it.
I think that's a Friends reference, believe it or not. Because
there you go. Yeah, one of them shows.
Yeah, Joey. It was New Year's resolution. Dude, this is like all coming in fruition right now. I'm fucking putting up the fingers on the sides right now, like a fucking Buddha. Bro, I just watched this episode like 2 nights ago. Swear to God, so, I go to bed watching
would take
Friends.
That stuff serious. He brought that home, and he did me like that for the guitar. And then when I realized I wanted to play drums, which is still what I play, it was a similar thing. Like you're gonna show a form of dedication to this. I got a rubber practice pad, and I played on that for like 3 or 4 months. And then I got a snare drum with a cymbal made out of like tinfoil. For real, I could bend it backwards if I wanted to make different sounds. I played on that for another 7 months. Then I got my kit, like $150 Target special kit. Just
to get you fucking cruising for a little while.
Yeah. But I showed him that I wasn't going to give up on it and that kind of thing. That's probably where that thinking comes from.
That's amazing.
There's, the world could do maybe with a bit more of it. We're on some instant gratification. We're on some open to business and we want to be on the island within 3 years. That's the plan, right? Or the yacht or something.
Yep.
We're forgetting a bit about the middle ground, about the journey.
Right.
That's what they say. It's the journey, not the destination.
Right. You cherish that. You know what I mean? You cherish those moments. You reminisce those moments. It's what lays the pavement for, all the bricks to, build what you want to build, whether it be an empire or a business or whatever. You never.
I just want to wrap some stuff and eat some hot noodles. I'm not asking for a lot.
I bet you ate a lot of hot noodles, a lot of ramen, a lot of fucking mac and cheese for a little while.
Seattle, I miss you.
Yeah.
That was the thing, man. They have so many good ramen pho shops, like so many Asian folk, I guess, live out there, but that's all I ate. And I'm messed up about noodle soup, man. It's kind of my thing.
What type of pho you eat? You eating the chicken? You take in the shrimp?
I'm one of those vegetable people.
All right.
So, I'll be eating the vegetables, get a little tofu in there occasionally.
Whoa, tofu.
There was this Japanese place with a spicy miso vegetable ramen.
Yeah.
I had to go back there 3 times.
Ooh.
Before I left that state. It had some wild name, but I'm a changed person for sure.
Damn.
I was out there with a friend Joshua, and the last time we're there, I'm just staring into the broth. Like, tell me your secrets, man. I need to take you home with me.
Every bite, you're writing down fucking ingredients, so that way you can try to make it at home.
Yeah, he's on this particular chef. He was on some mystical shadow arts of some kind because there was bits of oil separating there, but it was definitely a miso base. They had some kind of sambalolek or some spicy something, but it just couldn't be identified. It's Just special noodle soup.
You just old school ways, dude. Like no measuring. Yeah. It was just all by eye.
He's on it. The folks in Washington State, they got it good. I'll see you all soon.
Yeah. Back for that fucking soup, dude. That's insane. Right. You know, there's a guy I saw on, I think it was Vice, on an episode of Vice. I forget what the gentleman's name was, but he used to travel back to the, I don't know if it was like Philippines or something. And it was just, he tried to perfect the art of the noodle. The way the noodles are like thick and they're long. And he opened up a shop. I don't know if it's in California or Texas. It's like a Vietnamese name that means large noodle, I think it is. I can't remember. But he ended up bringing his friend that lived there down here, and he would help him create the dishes and get it to where it was the authentic side of it. Like the ingredients was from there. He even brought packages of like herbs and spices from there to get that like homegrown
my God
meal, dude. Yes. Like
that's what we're talking about.
This dude legit took it to another level, man. Like I was getting so hungry, and I had such a respect for this guy by the time I was done watching the show.
That's the problem with them shows, huh?
I was like, holy shit, this dude went above and beyond. This guy would go and live there for like 3 months and just fucking eat soup, different places, and talk to the chefs from there and take down.
Could have been me.
Dude, it could have been you, bro. Imagine.
Son of a bitch. Where did I go wrong?
Nah, dude, it's all, you still work with your hands. I was going to say that earlier. You found a way to still keep a craft. You know, like, I almost feel like a chef can be so similar to a rap installer.
There's definitely a lot of parallels. I think about that often.
Think about
Knife skills is the first one that comes to my mind.
Yes. Knife skills.
That had me prepared early. Like you have to have traditional technique with cutting is like a certain type of thing. You're supposed to curl your hands and the knife edge slides off your fingertips that close, but it's a barrier.
There's a little,
so you never get cut and certain kind of things like that, so where you don't go all the way through or carving, melon carving, or ice sculptures with chainsaws and shit. It's like, it kind of comes back in. And from a business sense, I learned a lot from that industry, a lot in the sense of really being on top of your operations. Because it's one of the only industries where your product is expiring every minute. If you think about that. So what we spend in vinyl and we worry about these inks and all this stuff. Imagine if it was fucking heads of lettuce that had 4 days to get sold or get thrown. And you need to know exactly how much you're going to use without anybody telling you how much you're going to use.
Right.
Based on estimates and historical data. And man, there's certainly a lot you can take from. And rotation, FIFO is one of their big things is first in, first out. Which is probably why Fellers succeeded above other people like them. They have this freshest stock. You have this giant warehouse of shit. You get in a shipment. It's so easy to just take your forklift and put it right there.
Right.
But to take out everything else, put that all the way into the back, stack them to date for the first pull being the oldest and keeping everything moving. Like there's something to be said about that. And those are some of the things I took from my journey through other careers for sure.
Wow, dude. Just so much you're just dropping knowledge, bro. Like,
I'm sorry.
No, fuck, dude. It's just, I am just rethinking a lot of shit that I've even done in my life and how I look at things. And it's fucking so nice to just having it, you know, well, maybe not me be intelligent, but just having a fucking, dude, I'm from Boston, bro. Like,
that don't mean nothing.
Like, you know what I mean? Just having a fucking good fucking intelligent conversation with you, bro. I feel like I walk away a better man. This is
Respect, man. Thank you.
it's fucking phenomenal. It's just, I just feel like the listeners, man, if there's any fucking episode to listen to this year, man, I this one's taking the cake. Holy shit,
you,
dude.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, dude, respect to you, man. I just feel like you look at things so differently, and it's gotta have to do with a lot of your upbringing and where you've came from and what you stand for, and you still stand for, and you believe in it, and you fight for it every day, I feel like, and it's, you kind
I feel that way, yeah.
You fly underneath the radar, bro. I feel like this is probably like such a cool thing for you, because now people get to listen to your story and get a little bit of an insight of who you are and open up a little bit.
Yeah, testing that water for sure. I mean, a lot of folks tell me I need to be more public, I guess, with just the business and the way I move, and it's just somewhat against my nature, but I know it's probably the truth. So
it's long overdue, bro. Long overdue, man. I think you've built such a great business, and you've worked with so many people, and you've made other people shine based off, your work. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's still your work. You might be doing it for them, but you're like we've always said, the installer is the last person to touch it, Yeah. And that's the first thing that the client's going to see. They don't see all the other shit, the printing, the reprints, the lamination, the production side. Like, they don't see any of that. It's all about appearance at the end of the day. What are they walking into to see their final product? Is it going to be a botch? Is it going to be 100%? Is it going to be questioned? Is it not going to be questioned? It's so many variables, dude. And
no, we definitely got to do our best. And that's just, it's giving respect back to all the work that gets put into getting it there.
Yeah.
So many of these jobs come from out of state, and it's not lost on me that somebody had to sit there and go through all these files and run them out and make sure that all the panels are there. And you can tell, somebody took their time to trim it. The labels are on. They're not tunneled from being rolled too tight.
Mm-hmm.
It really does take a village, but it's easy to kind of forget it. And I see folks that'll come in on like a part of a job, and it's just like, contact us for this kind of work because we did all this shit. It's insulting.
Yeah.
A little bit, I feel, to all the people involved, and that probably plays into why I really keep it close to the vest.
Yeah.
A lot of the times.
Yeah. Definitely.
But man, it's not even back to it. It's just, it does take a village, period. There's folks at every level of this, and everybody needs help. And definitely from a subcontractor standpoint, I saw a need for that. That's where I went. And, a lot of people connected with me are taking similar routes. And some of the other versions of that are blowing up like crazy right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have, you're breaking it into 3 sections apparent, or roughly you could break it into 3 sections as design, print, and install. And there's been guys installing, but then we print wraps.
Right.
And it's like, it was always on the back of folks' tongues, and there's versions of it, but that's an analog. It's a different arm of something like we do in that sense.
Right.
And then you got, the homie Glorb and all the artists like him that are, taking care of the design portion that you might not be able to deal with, and not have that overhead to keep floating them through them small days. And you could piece out what it takes to get a portion of this business done for whatever you need, specifically as a shop, whether you're weaker on the print, design, or install. There's help
everywhere. And
it's not just us, but if you open your eyes, it's probably there. It might be sparser in some areas, but if it's sparser in those areas and you're there, as much as I'd like to be there too, maybe that's your call to arms.
Right.
And if we really all connect the way I'd like to see us do in the future, then that would be part of that wave.
It's just phenomenal to think that, in this type of industry, there's so many avenues. That just like, it's kind of, you can kind of go anywhere with it. You can be mobile. You can be an installer. You can have your own shop, not have your own shop. You can print. You can design and be just that, you know? Back then, I almost felt
that really
like you
blows
had,
my mind.
yeah, back then, I almost felt like you had to do everything. You had to wear all those fucking hats. You had to figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
There was never, you know, a separation of, you know, you were either a lettering guy or you were a sign guy. And now it's like, fuck, you could be a wrap designer, you could be a wholesale printer, you could be an installer, you know, it's just.
I still like to see hand lettering guys too. It kills me because I have an incredible amount of respect.
Such respect for those guys, man. Like,
and it kills me to just go and put an RTA on something in like 3 minutes. It's just, I feel them watching, judging me, like the single tear rolling down the Indian cheek, and I'm like, I'm sorry, brothers.
Yeah, seriously, man. It's you know, it's the times, and it's a dying art, unfortunately. There's, I mean,
well, I believe that there's certain patterns in life, and like trends and certain things come back full circle. And speaking of like locally to me, Art Basel just passing. You mentioned Metro in our cast.
Yep.
When I was down there, I seen one of the cars. They wrapped it in white. They had one of their guys come and put markers all over it, like you had mentioned, some of the artists.
Right.
If you think about it, that sign painting coming back, it's people that they believe in purity of art, and there might be something there for that, but it's maybe nervousness about your vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's artists opening their eyes to this new medium.
Right.
You know, I talk about a lot with these guys, and it blows their mind. You know, they do this art and they're trying to get on canvases and they're trying to get it here or wherever. But man, what you could do with this damn film.
Right.
It's fucking crazy. And they just wrap it white and they let them go. And the guys that really have that kind of, that talent, and potentially they're known, they have real world connections too. And you want to talk about like limited edition eye openers, is man, reach out. You might be surprised. Banksy's got to be somebody's friend, right?
Right.
What happens when they wrap a Porsche and have him do that shit? And it's like, you could buy that, but you need to pay that fee.
Right. It's
That's
just
power.
It's just mind blowing where digital technology alone is like leaps and bounds, where you can take a photograph of an image that somebody hand drew, digitize it on the computer, and scale it to whatever you want to do, put it on any medium that you want it to fit onto, and that's your art. Like that.
It's mind blowing, man. People are not ready for this knowledge. Man.
No, dude. No, bro. Like
the Basel 2 or 3 years ago, I got contracted to wrap the front of the SLS Hotel, which is like right on Miami Ave, for this graffiti artist, Alec Monopoly.
Yeah, he's the one that just did that, what was it, the Rolls Royce?
Yeah, I think he was connected to Metro on the Royce. You're right about that.
He just did that like last week, I think it was. He did like a whole like show about it.
So he's, you know, say what you will about him, but I guess he's known, and he understands that medium too. So they were able to recreate like one of his graffiti murals, stories up. That was another one where I'm in an articulating lift, driving down Miami Ave in traffic with no police escort, just like bobbing around. It's like the busiest place on the planet, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing my thing, and I pull in, and of course, like the front of this place is only a valet section. So pull right between like a Lamborghini and whatever, a McLaren, for argument's sake. Just swinging around my damn arm right in front of the door. I'm laying all this, you know, it's pretty tall, a few stories up. That's it. I mean, we're doing graffiti, which is, you know, it's defacement of property, and we're getting contracted to do it on removable vinyl, for Christ's sake. Like, tell me what other industry, man. Stop this. This is the high we chase.
Right. It Like, what do you say to that? And it's become more of an accepted thing where people are contracting graffiti artists to come in and put wall murals up on these canvases in these streets to kind of, I don't know if it's more to pay homage or make it look cleaner with the art and, you know.
Well, they definitely like, murals more than, a lot of the, the purists will tell you, graffiti is not that street art. Alec Monopoly would potentially not be a graffiti artist, but in that sense of the word, but it's certainly funny to see, and especially close to us. Miami is big in that scene, and living here my whole life, Wynwood, that hosts Art Basel, is now this, chic, kind of high-end. Everything has like commissioned incredible murals by like renowned artists, and there's all kinds of stuff popping. But some years ago, I was wrapping buses out there. When you walked in with your tools, the iron gate had to close. Shots are getting fired off. Homeless down there claim sections of the sidewalk, and they like keep them clean, but you got to park somewhere, and you kind of need to clear that with like who lives on that sidewalk square. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And now it's fucking people from Sweden flying in like Gucci dresses and going through galleries, and it's kind of amazing. I guess you'd call it gentrification, potentially. And a lot of folks that are in that graffiti scene, like, they would definitely argue against all that stuff. It's not the people in that same sense. But as I say that, I find it beautiful. Like, there's incredible works of art down there, and I love walking through it. It's
respect to that craft, and, going back to the hand painting stuff, it's just, you gotta kind of respect that, because that's another form. What we do and what they do, it really isn't that much different,
I don't think so at all, or I don't want to believe so. I want to feel connected to it all. I enjoy this industry because I believe that I'm connected to creation and to artistic expression. We don't get to necessarily choose it, but as you do your thing and people start to maybe respect you and let you go, you get to do some, you get to take it and run. You get to do some cool things. A real cool recent one for the whole group. I landed an F1 car, and I wound up doing 2 of them.
Wow.
Insane shapes to these cars, and I had never really done it. I know there's cats around the country that do it. So, it was kind of up to me how to attack it. It's through a sign shop that was in over the head, potentially. We would have been working together regardless, but I decided that whole network that you've mentioned, all my favorite people, Install Away, House of Raps, Land and Sea, my boy Joshua, anybody that I could connect to the job, even though the money wasn't there, to my community. That's kind of what I believe in. I wanted them to touch that car and say that they've touched that car. You know what I mean? Like, we've been through this. It's nothing. I see how it goes. We all have this kind of power. And one thing I didn't realize about these cars that was really cool for me as a challenge, when you go there, at least for these, they just had 3 rolls of color. I didn't know it went like that, man.
3 rolls of color?
Yeah, like the first one was white, light blue, and dark blue. And it's like pinstriping, and it goes around like the fuselage on the side, and it's broken into like 30 pieces, and they have the wingtip, and it's a symmetrical, like pinstriping 2-tone that goes around this whole spaceship. And it's just color. Like, I had to make that, man. I fucking sat there with a little paint pen, and I measured out my curves and where I wanted the points to meet and what it would take to build that. And we did it. And then I did it again afterwards. It didn't take all those people, but the first run we all went, because I wanted that experience to be shared. You know what I mean? And that was big for me. And when I was done with it, I felt for a time that, again, I was an artist. It was a beautiful thing.
It wasn't about the money.
No, certainly not. It was an experience kind of thing.
Experience, right. That's worth more than anything, dude.
Oh, it was big, man. And I know everybody was smiling. Like, you should see we finish it, and everybody was smiling. Like, you should see we finish it, and these goofy bastards, bro. You talk to David long enough, dog, and on Yer, they're sitting there, they're doing their videos, the slow time, fucking underneath the car playing. But I mean, I need to get some of those, and that's forever, man.
Yeah.
It might not come up again.
Yeah.
So, that's the chances we get, you know, and it's really cool to know that I can do that. Basically, like when you see these cars, somebody had to go through it. I have a new respect for all them race teams.
Right.
For sure. You get a picture of some strange angles of what they want it to look like, and then that's on you.
Phenomenal, dude.
Yeah, very cool.
Unreal, dude. Well, we're creeping up on almost 3 hours now, dude. Right?
No, thank you for having me on the all. I'd like to end the show typically by asking you, what's your plans for next week, man? How's everything?
Next week? Damn, dude. I'm not even thinking that far yet, bro.
Oh, Lord God.
Fuck, I'm still worried about tomorrow. Shit.
Yeah, that's a good way to be.
Yeah, dude. Live one day at a time. There's always next week. Don't worry about that shit.
Strong words, man.
Yeah. So fucking the only strong words I had for 3 hours. Thanks.
I live a quarter mile at a time.
Yeah.
Tuna no crust. Holler at your boy Jeff.
Shit. Fuck, man. This has been an absolute pleasure, dude. Like, I've had such an amazing time sitting here and chatting with you, man. This has probably been the most natural conversation I've had on the show to date, bro. I
can't believe it's been as long as you said. I apologize.
Dude,
that's crazy, but I feel the same way. It was definitely cool. Finally get on with you, man.
You two, and for the listeners there, we TJ and I have been planning this for quite a while, and better late than never. And dude, I really appreciate you taking the time, and coming on and talking and sharing experiences, bro, and letting us in your journey. This has been an amazing ride, bro, and I honestly can't wait to see what you come up with and what you do with everything for the next 6 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hopefully I got something for you, man. I certainly got plans, and I appreciate your time in the same way. And I know everybody that listens to your podcast, does a similar line of work. And for anybody that needs that out there, I mean, we're out here in South Florida.
For sure.
This is what we do. You could essentially consider yourself having an office here in that term. That's usually the way I talk to people. So if there's ever anything that needs to get done through pretty much any of the three phases, you've had them on your show, and we all know each other. So let's do something about our positions, and let's up this whole damn industry together from now.
Yep. Build a community, man. Build that community. I love it. I like to, end the show with a last question or parting words. It's basically, like to ask you, like, who is your biggest influence? Doesn't have to be doesn't even have to be rap related. It can be anybody.
Well, damn, and I knew this was coming somehow, and I forgot. Didn't come up with anything too good. Truth be told, I would have to say probably two people would be my father. And I'll start with him. Obviously parents, we wouldn't be here without each other, but, my early time was real tough, and it could have been easy to let that play out kind of the way it was. We weren't it's too much. That's a whole nother podcast, right? But, him doing the right thing basically when it was easy not to, and giving us shelter and just a chance to grow. That's major, and I definitely wouldn't be here without him. So it's always, hero respect point. It's him first and foremost. And then, there's this fella, Evan Rosenthal, that shaped me pretty heavy as a mentor. He was the one I mentioned that was a cook before. And when I was young, he kind of like showed me that that was an avenue. And he was an older guy and I was kind of younger, but we would still kind of politic. And there's something to be said about fostering young men and just not treating them like kids and kind of like just whatever, prepared for the world, had a chance to do real work, learned ethics, you know, that French style of cooking. That's how he was when I was like 13, 14. I was helping him open a restaurant and we'd be in there and it's doing it the right way. And he would talk about those knife skills and about just rotation and how much little things mattered. If you make a bowl of sauce and that's going, you portion it out into 1.5 ounce portions usually. Well, when you break that down from the bowl, you could just scrape it out and throw it in the trash. But if you really get every part out, you might get 2 or 3 more portions. And understanding that matters, even though it's like 15 cents food cost. It's ethics. It's how to move in this world if you want to succeed. And it's not a guarantee that you will succeed, but it's the first thing you need to have a chance. And I always have respect for him for kind of showing me those things. So I'd say those are a pretty good answer.
Fucking awesome answer, dude. Awesome answer. Like you've had some great people in your life, man. I feel like, again,
certainly lucky.
Going back to, you know, where your cloth was cut and your upbringing and everything has led you to the man that you are today, man. Much respect to that.
Thank you, brother.
Well, with that being said, you know, let everybody know where they can find you on social media, bro, if they're not following you already. You
got to go to the dark web to find me, unfortunately. No, I never had a Facebook, but I did make an Instagram for the company. That's Global Graphic Installations with underscores between them. And I also have my website working again. That's the same thing, globalgraphicinstallations.com. My phone number is on the Instagram site. And with that being said, I mean, anybody that heard it and got this far, use the number if you feel to, text or call, whatever, whether it's life or this industry or anything. I mean, we need to lean on each other. And I've been blessed enough to be around folks that I can, and that means paying it forward. So, I've spent a ridiculous amount of the time on the phone with people around the country just trying to figure out how to make it in this business. And nobody has all the answers, but there's folks to reach out to. And, you know, if you don't have them, give me a shot. I can't guarantee anything, but I'd, you know, be happy to help. We're all going there together.
Love it, dude. Love it.
Yeah.
I hope people take that advice. You know, it's just a phone call away, a DM away, just to ask a quick question.
For sure. Just, you know, on the nights and the weekends, I'd be stripping for extra money. So don't get too upset if I don't pick up.
It's fucking
trying to make the bills, you know.
Yeah, dude. Fucking after 5 on Friday. Don't call me.
You gotta be careful.
Don't call me till Monday morning. Thanks. Much appreciated. If there's any note to take, would be that.
Yeah, if nothing else, just forget all that other stuff.
Yeah.
He strips on the weekends and at night. Yeah. Don't call him after hours.
That's it. Dude.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, dude, thank you, bro. You are just a fucking solid gentleman, bro. Like, I can't. This has been this has been like just an absolute pleasure. I've had such a great time talking to you. You know, we're gonna have to do another recap. 3 hours is not enough.
Damn,
it's not, bro. It's not.
Yeah, man. We'll have to touch back.
Yeah.
Besides the podcast, we got to link up in life somehow, man. So.
Oh, for sure. You know, I put it out there before we went on. I'm gonna have to make a field trip down there. Get with the gang and fucking
Arms are open, bro. We're ready.
Much appreciated, man. I love it. Love it. Dude, TJ, honestly, I know the year's over basically for us right now, and I can only wish you well for fucking the new year, 2019, bro. Let's fucking kill it.
I'm ready. Same here, man. Let's go get that shit.
What's up, everybody? Hope you enjoyed this episode of the All Wrapped Up podcast. Hit that rank button and review. And to stay up to date with future podcasts, hit that subscribe button. Till next time, folks, that's a wrap.